Ba-boom.
Yeah. You can suck on my ball. You can lick on my dick. Don't call my dad. Tell him what you did. I have no idea what that is. Workshopping it.
Yeah, we're working on a new song.
Working on a new song live on YouTube currently as well for the video show. The reason why I'm so amped today, Dan, is it's over, dude. It's just fucking over.
The wait?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, man. This has been a very long time. Luckily, there were some things that distract us this summer. Like the UFC fight over the weekend was fucking great.
It was good.
It was one of the best cards in a while, man.
You know what was really great was Jared's marriage.
We're going to talk about that later.
But nice little distraction.
I wish my bookie put an over-under up on that and let the world bet on it. But I guess everyone would have won that bet.
Yes. Well,
he will be on the show to discuss it this week. Fucking Wednesday night show. It'll be on Wednesday night show. In the meantime, college football's back. We'll be live from Orlando, Florida. We will be Friday nights at Jeff Simonton's house. This is the first time we've ever thrown a house party.
It might be the last, too, because who knows?
We'll find out, brother. We will find out. But he's allowing us and what appears to be, 80 to 100 of our closest friends inside of his house to do a live show. And we got a special guest. I'm not going to say who that is. But in true Drinking Bros fashion, you will be shocked and awed, I believe. And
awed or appalled, one of the two.
Either or. They're both the same. And then Saturday, we are at Tactical Brewery from 12 to 4 or 5, depending upon how drunk we get there. I'll be doing a live show in Orlando. So if you can't make the house party on Friday nights, please join us Saturday in Orlando at Tactical Brewery. And we'll be breaking down the evening's game and just getting drunk, man. It's just a nice excuse to get drunk, so come on out and join us. Before we start, we got some sponsors who put this whole fucking shit wagon and be on the air. First and foremost, talking about mybookie.com. They're back. We're back with them. We've been gambling heavy already. If you're not signed up in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook, sign up. It's free and it's private, so you can talk a lot of shit and you can see our actual bets. So I'm betting as we go. Last week we did the over/under for the NFL season and the over/under for college football. So I've been posting both of those, and you know it's real with the amount of fucking quiche we are throwing down on that. This week is I've raised my game. I've raised my game at mybookie.com. I've already thrown 500 on this Florida-Miami game to start it off.
Is that right?
Yeah. I went hard, and my neighbor's coming. He's a diehard Florida fan, and Florida never plays Miami. It's a big deal. These tickets were hard to come by too.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I threw 5 honey on it because I got a big belief in this one, and that is going down. So go to mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros will double your deposit. I think it's up to $1,000 this year. They're going to double your deposit.
I think it's, is that right?
I'll have to double check.
I thought it was 3.
It might be. I'll double check with it, but either way, man, double up, because that's what I did. I doubled up. I used my own fucking promo code and doubled up so I can get my gambling on, get my gaming on, bro handle. Next up, we got Dollar Shave Club. Man, it was almost like I was auto-tuning myself there.
Yeah, what's the...
Dollar Shave Club.
Ooh, with a little gurgle on that one. That's what it sounded like right before Epstein left this world, probably.
Probably. Or you just heard Hillary
cackling in the background.
Yep. Pushing him off the top bunk.
Oh, we'll be dead in a week.
Yeah, of course we will. Dollar Shave Club. We got the big boys with us. Big boys, big toys. Look, it's the quality, man, is what I really want to stress. Jamie, can you go to a Dan on this one? Are you able to pop in on D'Anthony on this one, man? all of the Dollar Shave Club products are in front of Dan right now. If you're
Yeah.
watching the video show on YouTube, subscribe. The fucking quality, dude, of Dollar Shave Club has gone through the roof, man.
Yeah, I challenge you to buy some of this stuff and then compare it to Gillette and all these other companies and see if you can tell the difference.
There's no comparison.
I
man.
can't, and I'll tell you where you will be able to tell the difference, and it's in your fucking wallet
Yeah,
at the end of the month.
yeah, because you're saving, man.
Like a lot, yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Shit, man. I mean, again, I haven't used it in a while, and so when they said, "Hey, they're going to sign on," I was like, "Look, sign on to the products. Send us the products before we sign on. Let me see what you got." And across the board, they've knocked it out of the fucking park. I mean, they've even got the hair fiber that I use. I'm like, "What up, girl? What up, girl?" So Dollar Shave Club has got you covered from head to toe. That's right. A lot of dudes out there shaving toes, dude.
Shaving their toes?
Yeah, it's like Army Hammer, you know?
Oh, yeah. If you're going to let your child suck on your toes, you probably need to shave them up first.
Oof.
Hey, I'm not the one that fucking did it, all right?
I'm not either. So right now at Dollar Shave Club, you can put the quality of their products to the test, exactly like I was saying. Their Ultimate Shave Starter Set is basically everything you need for the best shave. The Executive Razor, Shave Butter, Prep Scrub, Post Shave Dew. Best part is you can try it for $5. So everything we just said, it's on Dan's desk, you get for $5. After that, you can restock. The box ships regular size products at regular prices. Get your ultimate starter set for $5 at dollarshaveclub.com/drinkinbros. That's dollarshaveclub.com/drinkinbros. Get on it, dude. Get a fucking boner and pop on over to dollarshaveclub.com.
I don't know if having a boner...
/drinking bros.
I don't know if having a boner...
It helps.
If it helps. It doesn't get you more of a discount, but look, when you shave up nice and tidy down there, having a boner is going to help your lady.
Well, here's the thing.
Or your gentleman, depending on...
If you've got a shady palm tree and you need to shave that cock, you know.
Or if your dick has sideburns.
Yeah, you gotta shave up down there. You might want
That's
to
a
get
big problem
boner
overseas,
first.
by the way. If you're a guy that works for long periods of time overseas, like we used to, you're used to trimming up, but there's no real efficient way to trim up over there.
No.
Come back with a full-on, a whole sitch down there.
Really?
It's dick sideburns all the way.
Ah, man, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Sounds awful. Last but not least, we've got GhostBed.com/drinking bros. I was not going to forget GhostBed.com/drinking bros. They sent you a mattress, Anthony.
Yeah, they actually reshared my video, too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They're fucking awesome, dude.
I love GhostBed, so we got to get Jared one now.
Yes. We got to get Jared Taylor a GhostBed because he is single and probably moving in with the second wife, who he probably should have never got divorced from. So
it's hard to keep
I don't know,
up,
man. We're gonna he'll be on the show. He's flying into Wilmington. He'll be on the show to discuss this in depth over numerous amounts of drinks. And
yeah, we're gonna get
shit
find
the full story then. So
yeah,
I'm amped about it.
Yeah, same.
I'm amped about it. But GhostBed.com/drinking bros is the place to get all your mattress needs. They got pillows, sheets, cooling covers. They get cooling pillows now. And that Ghost Lux mattress is cooling as well, dude. Everything you need to have a nice bedroom set where every lady you meet wants to come over and bang on it. You can get it at GhostBed.com/drinking bros. If you're military or first responder, 15% off forever out of all of their products. If you're a regular civilian like myself, you can take $200 off a mattress and get yourself a free pillow, set of pillows. You can also get that bundle package with the adjustable base for $7.99.
It's not bad.
It's great. Go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros today. As always, 36 months pay-as-you-go program. No interest either on that program. So I realize the bed's a big ticket
item. How do they even get
item.
away with that?
I don't know, man. How does anybody get away with anything, to be
I don't
honest
know.
with you?
Well-
How's Dollar Shave Club giving out a whole fucking kit for $5?
I don't know.
That seems crazy to me.
It does, yeah.
So go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros.
It's just one of the kits,
Today-
by the way. So it's the hair kit or the shave kit. Like you get to choose between 5 different things, and any one of them are $5. If you want to try them all, you can try them all out.
Yeah.
So with the code, you can get like any of those packages or all of them that you want for $5 each, basically. So you can test all their shit out first.
Yeah.
And then
It's great. And then the headphones, dude. BuyRaycon.com/Drinkin Bros. I'm going to throw these in there today as a bonus. The reason being is we're supposed to have AJ on the show.
Yeah, didn't work out.
Well, our
Scheduling,
schedule is really, really busy here coming up. We got the cruise and all that other stuff. And then something fun is happening with the book. And we'll be able to share that news next week. But best headphones in the biz, man. Obviously, on a podcast, we can't wear them. But I literally was working out right before I got here. With fucking guns, dude. Guns, brother. So I was using those at the gym, man. They're the best for the gym. Wireless. They pop them in a box. They recharge 5 hours worth of shit, man, continuously. Big fan of buyraycon.com /Drinkin Bros. A lot of people keep hitting me up, and they're like, yo, man, these are like the most reasonably priced ones you got. And it's like, yeah, with a promo code, it knocks it from 70 down to 50. There's no reason to fucking drop $350 on Beats by Dre.
No.
It's headphones, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's like wearing a goddamn car payment on your head with those guys. So go to buyraycon.com /Drinkin Bros today. And hey, it's out. It is out at midnight tonight. Thank you for my service.
Wow.
Matt Best book. Buy it. Hard copy this week. We got the next 6 days left to still qualify for the New York Times bestseller list. Buy it. It's the funniest book on the planet. D'Anthony, we're here. College football surrounds us.
It's time.
College football is here. Sad news to start off, though, with college football. Cedric Benson passed away.
Yeah, one of the all-time greats
of Texas Longhorns, man. He has a couple good years in Cincinnati, too. He could have been really great. He got hurt. But still, man, he played for, 7 or 8 seasons in the NFL. But dude, at UT, man, he was a fucking
beast. Yeah.
It was a joy to watch him play. And by all accounts, it seems like he was a genuinely good dude. Motorcycle accident is what got
35,
him.
Man. 35 years old.
God damn it.
Fucking
That
sucks.
Sucks, man. Because he probably would have been at that Texas LSU game.
Yeah.
All those guys from Texas always come back for the big games, man.
They have a good alumnus program there.
They get a strong family there of alumnus. So sorry to all the Texas fans out there as well, man. That sucks.
Yep.
That's a shitty way to start off the week. But I want to talk about this UFC card, man, that happened before we get into college football.
Yeah, it was great.
D'Anthony, because we're doing a call-in show today.
Yep.
Which are always a fucking blast. But that UFC card was electric.
It was very good.
Saturday night. Man, watching Nate Diaz fight is just pure joy.
I enjoy it. He actually enjoys fighting. He's like Masvidal. Like, I don't know if there's a winner in him, so he wants to win the fight, but I get the feeling even if he knew he was going to lose, he would still fight just because he likes to fight, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's a fucking madman, that guy.
He's really fucking fun to watch, and
it's also really
Stipe,
funny.
dude.
Yeah, that was a good fight overall. Like, both of those
Fuck yeah,
guys
it
were
was.
pretty bruised up, but Stipe fucking came through with a win.
You know what I hate about Twitter and social media is, as soon as that Stipe fight was over, and look, DC got the fucking shit kicked out of him, right?
Yeah.
Which happens, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. He's fucking 40 years old, dude. He's won 3 titles now, 2 at the same time. People going to fucking Twitter saying you suck or you're fucking worthless. You got your ass kicked. It's like, bro, he's fucking 40, man. He's one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Give the man his due. Jesus Christ,
What are you gonna do?
man. It's crazy.
I'd like to see any of these people say it. Like, I wanted to do a reality show. I think I mentioned this on the show before, where Mike Tyson just travels around the country, like at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back,
right,
and fights everyone who's ever done a shitty impression of him. But now he's too high, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. But man, that was fun. Diaz, I don't know who he fights next. I hope it's either McGregor for the trilogy, right, or Street Jesus.
I think it's going to be Masvidal, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Street Jesus, dude.
I don't like. He pretty much called him out during the show. I don't think that
he did, and he was there. And here's what I liked about it is there was a lot of respect for it. Of like, hey man, you might be a gangster, but you're not a fucking West Coast gangster.
Yeah.
And
it was funny.
He was there. He was sitting in the audience. He enjoyed it. That fight would be a fucking banger, son.
I mean, somebody would get hurt.
A banger. Yeah, you're leaving on a stretcher after that fight.
Because neither one of those guys pulls any punches. They don't like. There's no half effort. Like in the post-fight interview, Cormier said, like, for some reason, I don't know why, but I let up in the middle of the fourth round. That's when he started getting his ass kicked. He's like, I let up, I think, try to save some steam for the fifth round.
Right.
And that's where you got lit up. These two guys, that'll never fucking happen.
Nope. Somebody's going out in a blaze of glory, and that's it, man. I was surprised to see the Diaz fight go the distance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but, I mean, look.
He won pretty handily.
Yeah.
I like his quote after 3 years off. He said, why'd you have a 3-year layoff? And he's like, because everybody fucking sucked for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, dude. That guy's one of the best. Yeah, if he fights Street Jesus, man, that is going to be an all-timer, and I want to go to that fight. Hopefully it's not in L.A.
Oh, I know. Well, I don't know who's
because this last one was in Anaheim, or else we would have gone to that shit.
Yeah. I don't know who's the best shit talker in MMA, but he's got to be up there, right?
Him, look,
and Masvidal too.
The three, and McGregor, obviously. You got the three of them, but I don't know what McGregor does anymore.
I don't like. What's his profession?
He punched a 88-year-old man in a bar in Ireland the other day. That was on video. Did you see that?
Yes.
For not saying he didn't want to take a shot of his whiskey because he was giving out free shots of whiskey.
Guerrilla marketing, I guess. I mean, if he just fights everybody that doesn't drink it, eventually everybody will have to drink it, right?
Yeah, man. I just like that the old man was just like, no, I'm Irish and it's the middle of the afternoon and I'm getting so drunk that I don't even care about your whiskey. Just get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose the McGregor thing, man. Unless he starts fighting again, I don't really. I'm starting to be done with caring.
The last time he looked good in a fight, in an MMA fight, was 2016, right?
Yeah.
So,
I was at that fight.
Yeah.
We were at the other one, the last fight he had.
He did not look good then.
Well, look.
He looked tired.
Yeah. You have that big of a layoff, and that's the problem now is like, dude, the more time off, what are you waiting for at this point? Or is he just not going to fight again?
I don't think he's going to fight. Like, who is he going to fight? Like, he's not in the contender ranking. I mean, he is technically, but he fucking shouldn't be.
But here's the issue is whoever fights him, that's going to be the biggest payday of their life. So they still want to fight him.
Well, I think a lot of people would like to fight him, especially people like Diaz and Masvidal, because they want to beat the shit out of him because he's a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Right?
But they would also bring in a lot of fucking cash, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then who does Khabib fight? Maybe Ferguson?
Maybe Ferguson, maybe Masvidal, one of those two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of good people on the come up. I like the fact that Dana White is treating the UFC now like he's treating the NFL, where it's just like, hey, man, you don't want to be here. You talk shit, like you're done, and you'll be replaced. Like superstars pop up all the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the NFL deals with shit, where it's just like, all right, great, man. You want to fucking kneel? You're out of here, Kaepernick. Fuck off, bro. And that'll bring me to the next thing of like Eric Reed, dude. Really surprised to see him kneeling at games, at preseason games. This motherfucker,
like he got a reprieve, basically. Got back into the league after a year being blackballed, and now he's.
And he was like, man, I am so grateful. This is amazing. He had a good year for Carolina. They signed him to a long-term deal, and then immediately after that long-term deal, it was like, fuck you guys, dude. I'm all Kaepernick. What do you think of this Jay-Z situation?
I don't know. It's not my community, so it's not really my place to speak about it, to be honest. But just from an outside perspective, it seems like Jay-Z maybe is trying to make an impact where he can. Like he's paying the price for being successful.
I'll speak on it from a fan perspective here because he's taking a lot of heat from a lot of people, especially after those videos of him and Goodell yucking it up. They just bought their way out of it. Jay-Z, to anybody out there who's going to bitch about this, is about Jay-Z.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's a brand of one, and that is it. The thing with the Brooklyn Nets, right? When he first got in with the Brooklyn Nets, and he was like, hey, man, I'm bringing the NBA to Brooklyn. This is my team. I want to put the city on the map. This is what we're going to do for the city, right? Problem with it is Brooklyn, when they did that and brought in all that money, first of all, they had to buy up all, some old projects, a bunch of old houses, knock them down.
Yeah, they gentrified the fuck out of that city.
It's all white.
Yeah.
Now Brooklyn is all white, where
it's super weird. And half of Harlem is all white now too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Harlem, the rest of Harlem will be gone very soon. Because real estate's too high to live in the city itself. But people bitched about that, and they were like, "Man, it's great that Jay-Z's going to bring a team here, and he's going to make more money and get
Look,
rich.
I think a team belongs in Brooklyn.
I do too. But it gentrified the entire city.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z did that. So what are you going to do, man? It's his own community and he can do whatever the fuck he wants to, I guess. But let's not act surprised that this is a shocking revelation that he's going to sign up with the NFL. The thing that I find humorous is, I don't know if you remember this last year, but he was the one who publicly bitched and told everybody not to do the Super Bowl.
Well, he was the first person to say no.
Yeah.
Which, look, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it wasn't a big sacrifice for Jay-Z. He doesn't need that. I mean, maybe his ego needs it, but he personally doesn't need that shit at all.
Yeah, him and Beyonce are worth $1 billion. Yeah. Like they're fine. He does not need the Super Bowl halftime show.
No, so what we ended up seeing was a shirtless Adam Levine with a bunch of weird ass tattoos.
Yep.
And a shitty football game.
Yeah, and that was the Super Bowl this year.
So congratulations, fans.
So Goodell behind the scenes, because these talks have allegedly been going on since January.
Yep.
That's when Jay-Z turned it down. These talks have been going on behind the scenes. They call up Jay-Z and say, hey, man, we want you in. We want your help. We're going to give you a bunch of fucking money. You can come in and do all this other shit with it. So one of the things in all of this other shit with it is pick the halftime performer. So he's going to have a say in that now of picking the halftime performer.
I mean, why doesn't he just pick Mos Def and Talib Kweli from Black Star or something then? If he wants to exercise that kind of power.
It's funny you say that. So they said, what would you have done differently for last year's Super Bowl? And he said, I thought Travis Scott had a big enough year on his own. I don't think he needed Maroon 5. No. I don't think you needed to blend those two together during the Super Bowl. I disagree with that statement. Because Travis Scott has one fucking album out.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, he's got, like every other rapper, he's on 15 other people's albums too. So, I mean.
Right, but besides Sicko Mode, which was a mega hit, right? If you're asking me who rap-wise should have done the Super Bowl halftime show, you've got to go with artists who have hits. So, obviously, Jay-Z turned it down, so they went to him.
I mean, it was in Atlanta. Where was Ludacris or, like.
Outkast.
Outkast
was the easiest answer for that.
Like that is.
You're in Atlanta.
We thought that
we have an
Big Boy was going to come out on stage.
He
at
did.
Some point.
He did come out on
stage. So he did. When he came out, we were like, "Oh, that makes sense." But where's Andre? Like, it would have made a lot more sense for that to be the headliner. Yeah, I know, right?
So you look at it last year.
I mean,
in Atlanta,
there's a lot of rappers from Atlanta.
Blend them all together.
They could have taken every. Why don't they do it like the
Usher?
Yeah,
Usher's from Atlanta.
Why don't they do it like the charity softball game for MLB, where they just like half the squad is local fucking dicks?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And I remember 2 years ago when the Georgia Dome was closing down, it was the NFC, and it was awesome because it was the NFC Championship game. We were playing the Green Bay Packers to go to the Super Bowl. Which we did and then lost. But you know what they did at halftime? Arthur Blank, who owns the Falcons, who's the greatest owner in the NFL, by the way.
He's the guy that set the standard for the family rate.
Correct.
For food and beverage and shit like that. Like, you can actually go to a Falcons game and not
cheap as fuck.
Not like have to file bankruptcy afterwards.
Yeah, it's so shocking. You're like, wait.
Because he's a fucking
$3.
He's
for
a billionaire.
A drink. It's
like all these other guys. Jerry Jones, billionaire. Mm-hmm. Everybody that owns a fucking professional sports team is a billionaire, and they're like milking every last cent they can out of you. Yeah. When you go there,
but the Falcons game is not. And like you and I turn to each other at the Super Bowl, we're like, holy shit! Did we just buy all this food for like $8?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And what he did for that game was he said, look, man, this is the end of the Georgia Dome. Let's have everybody back and perform at halftime. Every Atlanta artist you can. So it was fucking wild, man. It was Jermaine Dupri, Ludacris, Usher, T.I., all of them. And they just kept getting on stage at halftime playing. And it was fucking magic, man. It was awesome. How could Arthur Blank figure that out, but the NFL couldn't for the city of Atlanta?
I have no idea.
So with Jay-Z on board for that, I think it will help the halftime show because he's cool. He's got his finger on the pulse of music and all that other shit, and it's rad.
I mean, look, he's going to be easier to talk to about this stuff than Roger goddamn Goodell is.
100%.
Like, if Jay-Z has any kind of authority in that situation at all, he's definitely going to be able to, like, he's definitely more influenceable for hip-hop culture or whatever the fuck else than Roger Goodell's ever going to be.
Absolutely.
Because the way the NFL handled, they could have shut down this Kaepernick thing the first time it happened by just saying, hey, you know what? I recognize you're concerned. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
The end.
And let's
it would have been over right there.
Let's all pick a day, just one day, and do it. And then after that, you don't have to look like a dickhead. Because this Eric Reed guy who's doing it now for the Carolina Panthers is doing it alone. He's the only one in the league.
And he's doing it. Look, I don't agree with him.
Right.
But he's doing it because the NFL still hasn't done shit. Like, they haven't done anything to deal with this issue at all, except for get mad and fucking take their ball and go home.
But what are you supposed to do about it, really?
Spend some money in the inner cities where all these fucking athletes are coming from, probably.
They are. And they donated a lot, but the problem is the NFL can't go in there and do shit about it.
No, they can't. The players have to do it.
The players can. Now, the players can go into their communities and actually help and actually make a fucking difference.
The NFL's doing other stuff, though, with players.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. So there's something called Merging Vets and Players. It's an NFL program, and it basically has NFL guys match up with veterans in the community, near their communities,
right?
And they do shit and fucking blah, 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 raise awareness, whatever the case is. I don't understand why that same kind of program isn't happening in all the inner city areas around these stadiums. Like, how much harder would it be to do that?
Yeah, man. I don't know, but the NFL,
like, the NBA doesn't have these fucking problems.
The NFL, to me, if they really, again, man, if you thought there was police injustice going on, what the fuck's the NFL gonna do? What's the NBA gonna do?
Like, I mean, the NBA,
it's got to be people, and it's got to be people from your community.
Yeah,
and you've got to bitch about shit.
But the NBA handled it correctly. Like,
they did.
They immediately addressed the situation.
Yep.
Like, hey, first of all, there's not going to be any of that bullshit on the court.
Yeah.
And secondly, what can we do to help?
Adam Silver, though, is the greatest commissioner in all the four major sports.
Well, I don't really know the hockey commissioner that well, but I know that their players' union's not great.
No,
which probably means he's not great. Because usually,
exactly,
like, the NBA players' union is really good.
Yes.
The NFL players' union is the worst by far.
And
MLB is pretty good.
They're going to have a fight on their hands in a couple years here.
This is going to be a total absolute shit show. There may be a strike.
Oh, yeah.
NFL,
oh, yeah. I think
2021.
100%. I think so, because they've got to get guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
Now, the Jay-Z thing, I want to go to the second reason why he did this, okay? Title. And a lot of people don't understand how big a move this is for Jay-Z and for Title. Title is struggling. That's his streaming service.
Yeah.
That's, you got to sign up for whatever. Kanye's suing him. He's pissed. Jay-Z got popped doing fake streams on there. I don't know if you know that. And he's been dodging a lawsuit.
Doing fake streams. Explain what you mean by that.
So inflating his numbers for investors.
Oh, man. That's called fraud, homie.
Well, he's being charged with it right now. So he's supposed to sit for a deposition. I don't know if it's happened yet, but this case is ongoing. Now, this switches over into our field, okay? Podcasts.
Yeah.
I think the NFL will do podcasts with Jay-Z. This is a guess. I think they'll do podcasts with Jay-Z, give him and his fucking people and his team unlimited access to these guys. And that alone, because it's hard getting these athletes for fucking shows and shit, man.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you work with the team directly.
Correct.
With their
which is hard, man.
PR department.
Which is hard, yeah. Because they got enough fucking requests and bullshit on their own to deal with. If you're watching Hard Knocks, you can understand why right now. Oh, boy, just dealing with one player on that team, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
But I think Title's got a big stake in this, and I think that also lends itself to it. And then thirdly, Jay-Z's got a sports agency, man. Rock Nation is huge. They're signing players left and right. If you're telling me this isn't going to help his fucking agency as well, man, you're crazy.
Any kind of access is going to help.
Yes. So Jay-Z, look, man, I think he's willing to look the other way easily because it's going to benefit Jay-Z. Here is my prediction, Dan, and this is a bold prediction. I believe he becomes a part owner in one of these NFL teams within the next 2 seasons.
Isn't that going to be a conflict?
No, I don't think it is, because I think they want to get somebody in there, right, who is black. Is there any black owners right now? I don't believe there is.
Oh, man, there may be a minority owner, but not
a majority owner. Yeah,
not a minority, whatever.
Yeah. I think he gets in on one of these teams. And look, is there any sport that's more valuable besides soccer over in Europe with like Manchester United? Is there any sport that is more valuable than the NFL? What are the Cowboys? The Cowboys are worth what, $4 billion right now?
It's like 4.2. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just me. That's my guess. That's me personally. I think Jay-Z will be an owner of one of these teams here in the next 2 seasons. Not sure which team yet, but I think that's what happens, man.
I could see the Jets, maybe. The Giants, probably not. But it's got to be some team up there, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, he's not going to go California.
Robert Kraft's friends with all those guys, man. Like Meek
but
Mill
he's not,
and all those guys.
I don't know what the equity share is for.
I don't either.
For that.
I'll be real curious, though. But that's my prediction with Jay-Z. I think this is a very long-term move. And as a business decision, it's great. Is he fucking selling out the culture, I guess? Maybe. But, he's also going to help a lot of people over the years and years and years versus now. So I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. But I know a lot of people do. And, I'll say this. When you have an empire like Jay-Z, then come talk to me about the problem of it.
Yeah.
Because financially and business-wise, it's a great fucking move, man, strategically, for all of his companies all the way around. So there you have it, man. And I think it would be beneficial for him to do the fucking halftime show.
I mean, he probably will now, right?
One would assume,
he should bring a litany of Miami artists on stage with him, too. Because this year's in Miami, so Pitbull and all those guys, why not?
It might be Pitbull this year. Pitbull and J-Lo. They'll probably split it with those two
J-Lo's
fuckers.
from New York, though, right?
That's right. Jenny from the Bronx, yeah. I always now picture her in Miami because all the shit she does is in Miami.
Yeah. Who else is from Miami? What other artists are from down there?
Boy, you're probably looking at Gloria Stefan.
Oh, yeah, Flo
Rida. Yeah.
He can sing Apple Bottom Jeans.
Yeah, you can make fun of Flo Rida all you want, but every year he puts out a fucking hit, dude. He puts out a banger once a year. Yeah, man. Let's hop into the spreads for college football season. Are you entering in the people's numbers right now? What are you doing? Because we're about to do some call-ins.
Yeah, I'm not going to call anybody yet.
Okay.
I'm just getting ready.
So let's start with the game that we are going to be at, D'Anthony. Florida versus Miami. -7 is the spread.
My bookies actually got it at 7.5 right now.
Ooh, that just changed right now, by the way.
Yeah, let me refresh and make sure that wasn't.
Yeah, that is. That just jumped to 7.5. So look, I've got it on my phone, and I'll post it in Drinkin' Bros Sports. I got it at 7 yesterday. My neighbor Nick was on. He's coming to the game with us. It's his favorite team, and I have it at 7.
I don't take it at 7.5. I think it's a 1-score game.
So here's what because Nick, my buddy, was just like, hey man, shouldn't you wait for this to go down to 6.5? And I go, I don't think it will, and here's why.
No, it'll be. I mean, a push is a push.
Miami, yes, a push is a push. You get your money back, and that's fine, right? Miami just named their starting quarterback. And it is not Tate Martell.
Correct.
Tathan Martell. They're going with a true freshman, Felipe Franks. Started to trend up towards the last half of the season in Florida, the quarterback for the Gators. And, look, you got a new coach down here in Miami. You got a new quarterback. You got new everything across the board in Miami. I think this is a 2-score game, to be honest with you.
It could be. We'll see. I mean, look, that Martell thing not working out is not good for them morale-wise. Because I assume that everybody in that locker room came into camp thinking this is going to be our guy.
Everybody in America did.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start calling him Tathaniel. Can we say that?
No, Tathan is worse.
I know, but
worse
you think Tathan is worse than Tathaniel?
Tathaniel Martell. Look, man, I feel bad for him because today Ohio State named its starter and it's Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So again, when you don't know the playbook like that, and I think that's all it is with Tate Martell. He just doesn't know the playbook yet.
Yeah, I actually expect him to be in by week 4 or 5, probably.
I think he'll end up playing some significant time, but somebody said he's third on the depth chart. There's a lot of fake news out there.
If he's third on the depth chart, that's an effort situation and not a talent situation.
Yeah,
we know what kind of talent he has.
There was some lazy throws in camp, but there's a lot of fake news out there. I don't know who posted that Justin Fields wasn't going to be the starter either. Like, motherfucker, just come to me, man. There was a press conference today.
Yeah.
I could have told you weeks ago he was the goddamn starter. So I think if he stayed at Ohio State, he might have been starting. Since he's not, and he's in Miami, you're right. I think for morale, for that team, I think that's a fucking shitstorm down there now, and they got to wade through it very, very quickly because that just got announced 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah, but shit.
Actually maybe 6 days ago, and now you've got a game this Saturday with a true freshman. This isn't going to be pretty, I think. And I think Florida wins this game pretty handily. The over/under is 47.5. So you're looking
at
that
what it is? 47.5.
Yeah, 24-24 game, essentially in that one.
Let me change my little thing here. 0.5. So that means they expect the score to be like 28-19, basically,
somewhere in there,
or 27-20.
Correct.
I think that Florida's going to score more points than that.
I do too.
I don't know if Miami will or not, but I think the over is pretty safe here.
I like the over, and I'm like, look, I've already bet though fucking 500 on Florida to win. It's 7 when I got this yesterday, so I'm sticking with that. But anybody else at home who wants to bet on this game and go a little higher, man, I think this is not as close as people are making it out. I think on paper you're looking at the two names, right? Florida, Miami, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, this is the potential to be monstrous. I think it's actually a 2-score game. I do.
You're probably right about that. Next game is Florida A&M at UCF. There's no line. I don't even know if there's. I don't think my bookie even has a money line on them because it's such a lopsided game. Like I don't see anything.
What day is that? I don't even have that on here.
It is on Thursday, August 29th. So it's in.
We're not doing those. Dan, you're jumping ahead of.
Well, this is the only game for this week.
No,
then.
we got 2, D'Anthony.
What's the other one? I'm
Quit
not doing
fucking yourself.
We're not doing non-top 25.
Quit fucking
games.
yourself. We're gonna do this one because it's special.
Damn,
it's really, really fucking
there's
special.
There's nothing special about Arizona or Hawaii.
It is, and I'll tell you why. For gambling junkies,
it's the only other game. That's why.
No, for gambling junkies like ourselves, especially at mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposits. Here's what's special about this game. So, freshman year of college, right? One of my roommates was a bookie, and he was the first person who had like satellite TV. He was watching games all over the fucking world or whatever. Every fucking junkie in America, dude, who had lost the day games and then lost that night game, and it would usually end around 11:30, would always throw down on Hawaii. Always.
Hawaii.
I'm gonna need you to stay in it with me, Dan.
I'm in it, man.
Eye to eye, brother. There's a lot of texting, a lot of bullshit.
No, I'm doing math.
Do math on your own goddamn time.
It's math for the show, bitch.
But with that being said, everyone would bet the Hawaii game and usually the over in Hawaii. So living with him all freshman year, getting to see it and getting to hear everybody's bets, everybody would always throw the house on the over of the Hawaii game to try to get their money back. Here's why we're doing this game against 2 unranked teams this week. Is for this. I love that gambling is legalized now in all 50 states, right? More and more people are betting every single day on these games. They're kind of treating it like the lotto. I love that college football is getting in on the junkiness of gambling, dude, and putting Hawaii behind this game just because they know people are going to get their pants pulled down betting-wise on this Florida-Miami game. Although probably some assholes will probably take Miami, which is why this jumps up to 7.5. And then they're going to have to bet the Hawaii game to make up for what they lost on Florida versus Miami.
What do you think about this game specifically? Because
the Hawaii game?
Yeah.
So here's what I think, right? Yesterday, this over was at 70.
74 now, right?
I know. How does a fucking over jump 4 points?
I have no idea.
I do. Again, everybody's betting this fucking game, this Florida-Miami game. There is no other game that day. If you're going to do a parlay, a 2-team parlay, you've got to do it on something. Everybody and their fucking mother bets the over on Hawaii. It's a team you don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen. And this, for an over to jump 4 points in a day is fucking ludicrous.
It is, man. I mean, they expect this game to be
38, 38, 37 is what they're saying then?
I'm seeing 42-32 or 42-31. That's what I'm seeing.
All right. Can Arizona put that many points on the
I
board?
don't fucking know, dude. They haven't before.
In Hawaii?
Hold on. Let me see. I don't think they played Hawaii last year. Let me look at their.
Nobody plays Hawaii. They're not in anybody's fucking conference, man. And the problem is, this is in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or Hawaii.
Hawaii.
As everybody likes to call it. The Florida game's on at 7. This one's on at 10:30.
What is that? What did I say? How many points?
Hawaii.
42. I mean, they put up 42 1, 2, 3 times all of last season.
That's not a lot. Who did they put up 42 against?
Southern Utah.
That's a fucking double-A team.
And Oregon, actually. They beat Oregon 44-15 last year. Arizona did.
Wow.
And then Colorado, 42-34. But
look, they might be airing it out. It's Homeboy's second season up there. 74 is so many fucking points, though. I don't bet the over on that. Anything above 70, man, gives me like heat shits, like heat farts.
There is one game that I want the over in that's above 70, maybe. We'll see how the week plays out and how the betting goes, but it's that Oklahoma-Houston game next weekend. Because neither one of those teams have ever – they don't even have defensive coordinators.
I don't know if they put defenses out on the field anymore.
They just put like cardboard pop-ups, and if you can avoid those, you can score, basically.
Yeah. So this is our college football talking shit show. By the way, the over-under on this – the spread on this Arizona-Hawaii game is Arizona minus 11.
I don't know enough about either one of these teams for this to like register. I know that kid Tate from Arizona had a pretty good season last year.
Yeah, Arizona looked good in stretches last year. Again, they beat Oregon, and look, you're fine betting it. It's easily a 2-touchdown game, but you're right doing the simple math of that. They're expecting 42-32 somewhere in there.
42-31 or 40 something like that.
Which makes that 11 plausible, and it makes the over plausible as well. But man, I don't put money on a 74 over. God damn it! I mean that's a touchdown like every 2 minutes going off in that fucking thing.
Hawaii had a pretty good year last year though.
Hawaii.
I mean they lost to some teams that are not bad, and they fucking stomped a couple teams that aren't bad. They beat fucking Navy 59-41 last year.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
And Navy wasn't that bad last year.
They weren't that great either, but Hawaii. Nothing like white girls coming back from Hawaii and then just saying mahalo to everybody too.
And take me back.
Mahalo.
Every time I see
everyone.
a girl post a picture of a fucking vacation she took 6 years ago, take me back. I wish they would take you back.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off and get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Now we're going to call some folks, get them on the horn, let you talk a little bit of shit about your college football team. The reason why we're doing this today is we want this recorded for the rest of the year, and that way if you ever talk shit again, we can go back to this recording and look at your team and what you predicted for your team and say, do you remember you called into Drinkin' Bros Sports Companion Show and talked a lot of shit about it? Well, we have it right now. And then, boom, we'll be able to pull it up.
I'm going to make a soundboard out of all your bullshit predictions, and every time you say anything, I'm just going to post a fucking MP3 of it.
All right. Who are we calling first?
We're going to start off with Luke Bobbitts.
Luke Bobbitts.
Hopefully his dick's all right.
Yeah. Is that Lorena's ex-husband?
I don't know.
Anybody with a Bobbitt last name, I'm sure he's heard it, you know? I'm sure he's heard a lot about his fucking wiener getting chopped off.
His weenus.
Yeah. That's always weird to me, man, when you have a name and something like that happens to you.
Yeah. Can you imagine your last name being OJ?
Yeah.
Hello?
Luke.
How are you, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man? Turn the volume down a little bit on yours.
Yep.
Welcome to Drinkin' Bros Sports Companion Show. Who's your college football team?
Well, I'm probably going to end up being that guy, but Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide, Alabama. Look, I'm glad we're starting off with Alabama. An Alabama fan, at least. Whew, you know where I'm going to go first with this, the schedule. What is the fucking deal with this goddamn schedule? You guys play 3 Division II schools on your schedule, and late in the season. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because to me, on paper, looking at your schedule and what you guys are about to do this year, you're going to cakewalk into the SEC championship. There's only one tough game on your schedule, and it's LSU, and it's at home, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, me being an Alabama fan, I guess I'll kind of fall in the weird category of, I don't know, kind of being realistic about it, not like, yeah, we've got fucking 400 national championships or shit. The big deal is, dude, in my opinion, you're right.
Yeah, with the
strength of schedule is. What's up?
Yeah, the strength of schedule. Yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. I guess for the past couple of years, Bama's strength of schedule has just been, honestly, terrible, dude. Like you're saying, we kind of cupcake at the beginning normally, then towards the end. I think the first real team we have that we're playing that's even ranked in the top 25 is like first week of October, I want to say.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's Texas A&M, right?
Yeah, it's A&M, and I think they're 12th in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, we get some breaking news.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts just got announced as Oklahoma starter.
Yeah, well, we knew that.
Boom.
We knew that was going to happen.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, what's your feeling on Jalen Hurts, by the way? You think he'll do well in Oklahoma?
Man, between like the program's history, as far as Oklahoma goes, and Jalen being the player he is, I think he does fine. I think Oklahoma overall does really well this year.
The hard time I have with him is look, Jalen Hurts was fantastic for you guys, but again, it was against an easy schedule. When he actually was down and had to throw the ball from behind, his throwing isn't the best.
Yeah.
He's got a good arm, but it's not all that accurate.
It's not all that accurate. And in this new fucking conference he's in here, you're going to have to put 60 points on the board every single game just to have a chance because you have no defense. So we'll see. What's your prediction on Bama this year? Because here's my feeling on Bama. With this strength of schedule, I think it caught up with him last year, right? Once they got into playing some of the elite teams like Georgia, they should have lost that Georgia game. Georgia was up the entire game, and they came back and pulled off a miracle at the end. And then against Clemson, they got absolutely housed because they just weren't used to playing a team like that. They got really lucky with the Notre Dame thing. Or, I'm sorry, was it Notre Dame for those guys? Yes, it was.
What do you mean?
No, Clemson played Notre Dame.
You're talking about the championship blowout or whatever?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, dude. Like I said, I'm kind of a realist looking out at, I guess, the future on Bama and everything. The room's been good. The competition, I feel, across, each conference the past couple of years has kind of leveled out. I think Georgia takes us down in the SEC championship game.
That was my prediction, actually. That's what we actually said on the show. I think the mystique has been pulled back a little bit on Alabama. Not that they can't reload. I just think that Clemson is so much further ahead than every program in America right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be Clemson's year. Well, look, man, this was refreshing talking to an Alabama fan who was actually realistic. That's one of the first times on this show.
I feel like
not the asshole Roll Tide Alabama fan, but the guy that understands how everything kind of plays out.
Yeah, I like that.
Every time you say Roll Tide, a person has sex with their cousin. Every single time.
Don't remind me.
Luke, are you in Alabama?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you live there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do me a favor and just wake up your cousin next to you and tell her we said hello. And thank you for being on the sports show. We're kidding. Best of luck to you in your football season. We don't want to wish any team ill well except for Notre Dame fans, obviously.
Fuck Notre Dame.
We wish you the best because if you live and die on your teams like we do, it fucks up your entire fall. So thanks for being on the show, man, and good luck to Bama this year.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. Good luck to you.
All right, buddy. Next up.
At least Alabama actually fucking exists, unlike this piece of shit.
You know who's up next. Craig Dulesky is up next. Craigers, man.
Craigers.
Giving Craigers a phone call.
I haven't officially adopted him. Oh, my God.
He's got one of those.
Jesus Christ.
What kind of rock song is that?
What is that bullshit ringtone?
Yeah, Craig Dulesky, welcome to the show. People know you. They expect it. We just heard your gay fucking ringtone or whatever the fuck that was on the way in. Is that...
Gotta live in the past, Ross. I'm not sure what it was. It could be the Iowa fight song or whatever. So.
The Iowa fight song. Who knows?
It's got a fight song for a state that doesn't exist.
Exactly. Craigers, what's your prediction on Iowa football this year? Unfortunately, we're going to have to give the spreads out for the opening part of the season because they're ranked. What do you think is going to happen with this team?
Honestly, I got the little schedule right here as I'm driving home. I honestly see 9-3 or 8-4.
9-3 or 8-4. That's realistic. I can actually see that as well for Iowa. I'm surprised. We're 2 for 2 on callers who were realistic about their teams.
Yeah.
But I don't. My cousin, Bama fan though, so we don't do that thing in Iowa. So.
What's that, Banger cousin?
No, we don't do that shit in Iowa.
Because Iowa doesn't exist, bitch.
Yeah.
You can't bang a cousin that doesn't exist in a state that doesn't exist.
Iowa's not real, but I will say this, Craigers. We'll see you on the cruise. You'll be on the Drinkin' Bros cruise here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
I know, me too, man. I'm fucking amped about it.
We're going to butter that bread.
Yeah,
brother.
we are, brother. We'll see you on the cruise in a couple weeks, and we'll also see you next year at the Field of Dreams game.
Oh, yeah, we're going.
So we will be in Iowa. Where do you live in Iowa currently?
Nah, I live in Maryland, but every now and then I go back to Iowa just to see some family and friends.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we're gonna do a podcast in Iowa, outside of the Field of Dreams Stadium.
Yep.
And that'll be a blast. Hopefully, it doesn't get rained out. Does it rain a lot in Iowa? Do you know?
Not usually during the July time frame, but August kind of turns, but it's hot as fuck there because August 13th is usually around the Iowa State Fair time, so you're going to have a lot of people coming into a state that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a lot of people that don't exist there.
Don't sass me, boy.
Yeah. By the way, for anybody who's listening at home, this is the guy that Daniel has actually put in papers to adopt.
Yeah, I've adopted a number of Drinkin' Bros, including Jared.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, father like son, I'm watching the live feed on YouTube. Dad and I have the same shirt on.
There you go. Congratulations.
So father like son.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, man, Craigers, we'll see you in a couple weeks on the cruise. Good luck to Iowa this season, my man.
Yep, and I'll see you guys on the cruise in Ohio State tailgate.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Hell yeah, dude.
You'll
That'll be
there.
fucking awesome, man.
Sweet. Yeah,
we'll see you there, buddy.
Yeah, I got to have the Zimas.
Hell yeah, you do. Little Zimas and Jollies.
All
Take
right.
care, buddy.
See ya.
Yep.
Next up, who's Jordan Wenzel? That's your boy, right?
Yeah, he asked me to FaceTime him, so I'm going to try that.
FaceTime audio?
Yeah.
Is he overseas right now?
I guess. I don't know.
He is in Craig's league, the Dulesky Disappointments League, for Drinkin' Bros fantasy football, which is, man, the fucking draft is right around the corner.
It is.
While you're dialing up that number, man, I'll just speak on what I've seen in the preseason here for the NFL. I'm really, really shocked at the amount of playing time that the starters aren't getting for all of these games, and we could be in for a shit show the first couple weeks in the NFL while all these people regain their sea legs. Because
it's going to be a lot of flags.
When you don't scrimmage, or I mean not scrimmage, but when you don't play preseason at all against other teams, man, there's gonna be a lot of fucking flags,
especially those away games for teams that are having to do silent snap counts and stuff like that because of the noise. Like if you're in Kansas City, you're in Minnesota, one of those stadiums that gets loud as fuck, you're fucked.
Yeah, there's gonna be some sloppy play week one, man. I'm genuinely surprised at that.
What's going on, guys?
Jordan, welcome to Drinkin' Bros Sports Companion Show. Who's your college football team?
Man, I was hoping you guys would call me before that Luke guy. Roll Tide.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so are you the cousin that he was banging?
Ah, there we go. He woke you up.
Look, we don't do that gay shit down there.
No.
Yeah, well,
That's not what I heard. But
Yeah, you gotta keep it in your ancestry.
I feel like as long as they're related, it doesn't really matter what their gender is.
No. A lot of people have close together eyes down there.
When your eyes are far apart, that's fetal alcohol syndrome.
Is it really?
And when somebody's eyes are too close together, I call those AC, almost cyclops.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Jordan, let's talk Bama football here. The caller on before, he was a realist. He said you guys would lose in the SEC championship to Georgia. We said that on our prediction show. What do you think is in Bama's future this year?
So I'm a little bit different, and I've got a couple reasons for it.
Okay.
A lot of people are down on Bama in the LSU game, and the reason being is that so LSU typically, except for the last 8 years, they typically beat us in Tuscaloosa. But since Nick Saban destroyed them in that shutout in the championship game, they haven't been able to. And then Georgia, I don't think Kirby Smart is ready to beat Nick Saban. It's not a battle of teams necessarily, because I think Georgia is currently sporting more talent than Alabama is.
Right.
I just don't think that Kirby Smart is ready to take the step, because Saban, number one, has never lost to any of his predecessors. And, I mean, yes, if there is anyone who can do it, it is Kirby Smart. He was Saban's right-hand man for his entire career until he took over in Georgia.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do it this year. And I think it's going to be next year for Georgia. I don't believe in Fromm. I think he throws way too many picks in prime time, and I don't think he can pull it off.
Ooh, so let's go back to the national championship where you guys beat Georgia. Which was an overtime game.
Yeah.
Very sloppy that second half. Alabama just seemed to chuck into it just to figure it out. And you end up winning, right? If you go back and watch that game film, there was passes where he wasn't even looking, and it was going to the wrong receiver for touchdowns, 2 of those, right?
Yeah.
Georgia should have won that game. They should have. They should have been national champions that game, in my opinion.
I agree.
That first half was just a complete ass stomping. I mean, look, let's face it. That first half of football is what got Jalen Hurts starting quarterback at Oklahoma. And then you go back to last year's SEC championship game. I still don't know how they lost that game.
It's Kirby Smart. Kirby's losing to Saban. It's not Bama beating Georgia. It's Kirby Smart's losing to Saban.
Okay. There is something to that. You're right. There's a psychological thing to it. Harbaugh's going through it with at Michigan right now. So, yes, you could be right. So if that is your prediction and that happens, okay, what do you have them Bama doing in the playoffs? Because I do think they make the playoffs.
I've got Bama beating Washington State and then going on to beat Clemson.
Whoa. First of all, you got Washington State in the Final Four, the college football playoffs.
Yes, I do. I think they made enough noise last year, and they do have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3 top ranked. I mean, Stanford doesn't really count, but they have 2 top ranked teams they're playing. They can run the table. No, 4, because they got Washington. They can run the table, and if they do, I don't think that they can keep the Cougars out over Georgia, who I ultimately think Bama is going to beat in the SEC championship when they're both undefeated teams playing each other.
Oh boy, there's so much crazy in this that it's hard to dissect. We'll start off with Washington State. Okay, they lost their quarterback. That Minshew kid was their team, man. So they've got to start over with a brand new quarterback. I like watching Mike Leach as a coach because it's crazy and he's going to go for it on 4th down every single time, and you don't care. That just can't win you a national championship. And it's going to cost you 1 or 2 games during the regular season playing like that.
Yeah, the other thing is Washington State doesn't have a run game to speak of.
No.
Like their high last year was 82 yards, I think, for any individual player as a rusher.
Yep.
So
it's tough without a run game. So I don't think Washington State makes the college football playoffs. Now, let's suppose Alabama does play Clemson for the national championship. In what world do you think they can beat Clemson after the dismantling last year and they've only gotten better?
Yeah, Clemson's gotten better, and there's no sign that Alabama's gotten better. In fact, Tua's health overall is in question right now, right? Because we haven't seen him play yet since he stumbled into the playoffs last year.
Right.
So I'm not as high on Tua as everyone else seems to be. and I'm also not as high on Trevor Lawrence as everyone else is. You're talking about two kids who got thrown into impossible situations and shined out one time, right? So Trevor Lawrence came in, 5th game of the season?
Yeah.
Went on, and yeah, he played great. But Tua also played great for the majority of the season. I don't think that they're these generational guys that everyone's making them out to be. And these teams were winning on defense and big playability. That comes down to their receivers. So that's Ross and that other kid on Clemson, and then you got Jerry Jeudy, Waddle, and whatever his name is, the second receiver on Bama's squad.
Yeah, Bama's got great receivers this year.
Yeah, we've got 3 guys who are going to go in the first 3 rounds in this upcoming draft.
Right.
I'm looking at Clemson losing 2 superstars on their defense, on that defensive line, and I don't see where they're going to replace that kind of talent. Those are comparison like Aaron Donald type disruptors, where they're coming through the line and they're fucking up everything. They had Tua running for his life in that game, and the kid just doesn't play well under that kind of pressure. So I don't see where they do that again, and I also don't see a world where Nick Saban lets a team beat him that bad again. We're also talking about, Alabama and Clemson, they've split the last 4 years, but Bama beat them pretty decisively in New Orleans in 2018. So I see no reason why everyone should just sleep on Bama just because they got their ass beat one time.
Here's why. Because Steve Sarkisian
back
versus Brent Venables.
Fucking joke.
Steve Sarkisian, the Alabama offensive coordinator, versus Brent Venables, the Clemson defensive coordinator, who is the best defensive coordinator in college football.
Correct.
If it's coach versus coach, which is what your premise is, and we agree to that to some extent.
100%.
And look, Clemson did lose Farrell Wilkins, Lawrence, and Bryant. But they haven't just stopped recruiting. They had the best recruiting class on defense in the nation last year. So it's not like they're gonna just fall off the edge of the earth. I see what you're saying with the defense. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, look, man. I like the brass you got on you that's dangling between your legs right now, because I just don't have that confidence in Bama anymore. And this will be a very telling year, I think, for the Alabama football program. If they are able to overcome that horrific loss last year, and win the national championship, it'll say a lot about this team and the grit of Tua, obviously. But if they lose again, especially with the schedule they have, I think it's going to fuck them later on down the road. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But either way, look, that's a fucking hot take, dude, and I enjoy it. Good luck to Bama this year, and I'd wish you luck against me in fantasy football, but you're going to get them panties pulled down or just to the side, and my wiener's going to be inside you.
Well, yeah, I'm going to win that league, and then I'm coming back up, and I need some Notre Dame gear. I've been looking up some napalm recipes. I got to light some shit on fire, man.
To blow up that helmet. Speaking of which, we're going to call Kalen Catrone, or Cathrone. We'll actually find out what his name is here when we call him. Jordan, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
All right, guys, roll tide.
See you, man. No one gives a shit.
Kalen Cathrone. He's got his own league now. He's got his own league in DB Sports.
That just shows you if you're a big enough
Fantasy
piece
football.
of shit, you can get your own league.
Yeah. It's the Rudy League. The name of my team in his league is Rudy Was an Inside Job. So, look, whatever happens to that helmet happens.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's face it, he's not going to win this goddamn thing.
No way.
And I don't believe I've ever talked to him on the phone.
I don't think so.
Hello.
Hello, Kalen.
How are you, Kalen?
I am doing well, and yourself, sir?
Is it Cathrone? Catherine. We were way off for an entire year.
Yeah, you could have corrected us at any point in the last 18 months, you piece of shit.
I could have, but the ignorance that I got a laugh out of every week was pretty great.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Now, let me ask you this. How great was the laugh of seeing your Notre Dame team get the shit kicked out of it last year?
I'll tell you what, man. It was brutal. It was brutal.
That was an awful game, man. They didn't score one single point, right?
Yeah. No, they didn't.
In your defense, it was Clemson, though, which is, in my opinion, between this year and last year, I think they're going to go down as one of the greatest teams of all time.
Well,
so
I mean, the
what are you
experts
gonna do?
are all saying that this year they might be even better,
I-
despite losing those defensive guys.
And I'm with them on this. I think that's going to be maybe the best college football team of all time. This year.
I actually think that next year will be the best. Their team next year, provided no one gets injured, will be the best college football team that we've ever seen. Because they've already signed 5 of the 6 top recruits from high school last year or for this year.
But let's talk Notre Dame football here. Who's your quarterback this year?
Ian Book coming back from last year.
Okay, so Book is still in there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. The other kid transferred, right? He's down at UCF. Is that where he's at?
Yeah, somewhere in Florida. Is it UCF or UFC? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another one transferred to another Florida school. What's the honest opinion of Notre Dame's football this year? Because look, I will give you guys this. Every year you have a hard schedule because you have to, because you're an independent. However, unless you run the entire table this year, you're not getting in just simply for the play of Notre Dame in big games and playoffs and national championships recently. So I don't think it's going to happen. Can you guys run the table this year?
Crossing my fingers, yes, but honestly, no. And the reason I say that, a couple things real quick. Number one, I don't trust Brian Kelly in any game that means anything.
I don't either. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't like that coach, man. But here's the problem with it. I don't see a better one left that's out there that could replace him. Therefore, that fucker just keeps his job.
You're exactly right. I mean, they don't pay him Urban Meyer money or Dabo Swinney money or Nick Saban money, but I mean, who are you going to go get? I mean, you're just like Georgia. I mean, you're going to get Kirby Smart or somebody that coached under one of these guys and hope that they can beat them. And
do you think there's any chance at all that Urban Meyer goes there?
No.
Versus USC or some other
No.
big program.
No.
And I'll tell you why. There are way too many recruiting negatives for him to be able to recruit players at Notre Dame like he did at Florida or Ohio State.
You mean they have too many actual rules they follow?
And academics.
Academics, yeah, because they're big on academics there, and that's real.
Well, it is a college.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually looked this up just because I was jerking around earlier today. Notre Dame graduated. They're like number 1, 2, and 3 yearly in graduation rates for student athletes with Duke and Northwestern.
Yeah,
So,
I believe it.
They don't put dum-dums out of that school, which is one of the reasons I've always been a fan of them.
Sure.
Growing up.
Sure. So, what's your honesty of how many losses Notre Dame has this year?
So just looking at their schedule, the Georgia game is going to be, in my opinion, the hardest.
Yeah, because it's at Georgia, right?
Yeah, it's in Athens. You go to Athens and you're playing Georgia, who has arguably one of the best rosters in college football this year.
Yep.
It's going to be tough. Very tough. I don't honestly. That's probably the loss I see out. Glaring loss.
What about Michigan?
That's the other one. It's at Ann Arbor, so that's not in their favor. But of those two, I think their chances of beating Michigan are better than beating Georgia.
Well, the good news about that is that they're playing Michigan a little later. I mean, actually, it's not necessarily good news because they kind of snuck up on Michigan this past season.
Right. Well, it was the first game.
Yeah, beat them by a touchdown.
Yeah.
The good news is that if Michigan doesn't come out of the gate balling like crazy, there's going to be a lot of turmoil there about whether or not to fucking fire homeboy, and that might play in Notre Dame's favor.
Yeah.
Because anytime, college football is all about coaches, like you say.
Yeah.
So if homeboy's in the hot seat that late in the season, I think it's October 26th is when that game is. Man, I don't know what'll happen there. Michigan's been the most inconsistent powerhouse team over the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I mean, are we calling Michigan a powerhouse team? Is an honest question.
I don't know. I mean, they can't beat their chief rival.
They haven't, but in their division in the Big Ten, they haven't even finished past third with Harbaugh there. So I don't know, but I think you're right. So that Georgia game, I think they take a loss. I think Michigan with Shea Patterson back and having a year under his belt, not being a transfer. I think they lose that game. That book kid is pretty goddamn good.
He is, but
he's got a full year under his belt.
He does, but the problem is, like, there's a pretty good chance that Clemson Clemson will come in undefeated.
Yes.
And Alabama probably will. Georgia very likely will, because the only other ranked team, I mean, they play Florida, but we don't even know how good Florida is yet.
No.
And then they play Auburn and A&M, but like they have a really tough schedule, but chances are they're going to be in that hunt too.
Yeah.
And then Texas is expected to be really good. There's a lot of teams up there.
Oklahoma's expected to be good. Ohio State's supposed to be good.
I don't know if fucking man.
There's going to be a lot of good one-loss teams this year battling to get into the playoffs.
The good news for Notre Dame is they don't have a fucking puppy dog schedule like some of these other one-loss teams probably will.
Yeah, I think look, if those are your two losses, Michigan and Georgia, you probably end up in a pretty decently big bowl game. You know, maybe one of those top eights.
So playing devil's advocate, let's just say they beat Michigan
and
they lose a close game at Georgia. Georgia goes on to be undefeated and beats Bama in a championship game. Does Notre Dame then get into the fourth slot to get into the playoff?
No.
I could see it.
It
depends on what everybody else does, because somebody else will have to have two losses probably for them to step over.
I'll tell you why, and this is from a personal standpoint here, because the Big Ten has been going through this for the last couple of years, which I find it bullshit. But Ohio State got smoked by Clemson in that CFP game, right? I don't think they scored a point. And it was just, that was the beginning of Dabo Swinney as we know it. And they got smoked and we got penalized. I mean, we only lost one game last year. We've been losing one game every year. Urban Meyer himself, he lost 8 games in 7 years total?
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy. And 2 of them, I think, were to Clemson, for Christ's sakes. So you do get penalized, and I think Notre Dame is going to get penalized for it this year. That's why I'm saying they have to go undefeated, or they will not make the college football playoffs because of the way they look shitty in big games. That national championship, fuck man, wasn't that? They didn't score a point in that one either, right?
Well, that they had no, and I'm a Notre Dame fan. They had no business being in that game. They had a good defense and 0 offense that year. I mean, if you go back and look at who they played, they beat them strictly with offense and being able to score just a few points, and they could not hang with Alabama. I mean, Alabama was boat racing everybody that year.
I want to say it was like 58 or 59 a year. I mean, something crazy like that. And then last year getting smoked by Clemson. I think everybody's done with that. So unless Notre Dame goes undefeated, they get penalized. Look, you beat Georgia, though, at Georgia. That is a monstrous win, and that is shoving it up everybody's asses. And then if you beat Michigan, who, in my opinion, by the time they get to that Michigan game, Michigan will be undefeated. Georgia will be undefeated. You win those 2 games, man. It'd be hard to keep them out at that point. But
and I'll tell you what, the other thing that my personal pet peeve is, I kind of feel like, especially these last 2 or 3 years, the Notre Dame talent that they've put out has kind of gotten squandered by the coaching. At least that's my feeling. They, if you look at how many people went in the draft, I mean, first rounders of offensive linemen, and how many wide receivers that they have in the NFL now, it's they're not far behind the Clemsons and Georgia and Alabama, and they just can never win. Get over the hump to be that perennial powerhouse again.
Yeah, the hump is the recruiting standard, so that's never going to happen.
No.
And modern football, modern college football, they're never going to be. I mean, look, there's a chance. There's always a chance, but it's very
tough.
slim.
It's tough. I think they need to join a conference. What are your feelings on that?
Absolutely not. And this is why. The conference, as you guys said earlier, they play a tough schedule every year, reasonably tough. A conference, limits you to who you can play. So, everybody's, I was listening to you guys earlier. You're down on Alabama's schedule.
Yes.
And I get that to a point. They play Auburn, LSU, those teams that they have right there in their schedule, or in their conference, but their out of conference schedule is very weak. And I think that's even in the Big Ten, you got to play Minnesota. You got to play Northwestern.
Right.
Those kinds of teams aren't as quality of a team as Notre Dame going and scheduling Stanford, USC out in the Pac-12, Virginia Tech out of the ACC.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting a diverse, or Georgia out of the SEC. They're getting a diverse schedule from teams all around the country, so a variety of styles of play, and every week it's somebody different with a different concept, a different scheme.
No, you're right. And thinking back to when Notre Dame played Ohio State back in the '90s, it was a home and home. You guys played one at Ohio State, we played one at Notre Dame. You're right. The beauty of that is you put Notre Dame on your schedule, and that brings everybody out. It's under the lights, like. Everybody wants to play Notre Dame, and no, you're right. There is some thought to that because let's say you put Notre Dame in the ACC. Isn't that where your basketball is?
Yeah, well, yeah, they play half an ACC schedule now, so that's why they have Duke, Virginia,
got it,
Louisville, Virginia Tech. Every year they play a half a.
Yeah, because if you put Notre Dame in the ACC, you're right. Your schedule would be shitty because you've got Clemson. And that's your hardest game. But then, your second tier team is Miami, which isn't.
Well, we'll see about them.
We'll see about them Saturday. Yeah. But I just said on the prediction earlier, I think they're getting house opening week. But you have Miami and then I guess Syracuse in that. But you're right. That schedule would be way shittier than your schedule now because you're right. You guys consistently every year really go out of your way to schedule some of the top teams. And that is one positive I can say about Notre Dame.
Seven teams out of the 12 that they're playing this year have a bye the week before they play them.
Ooh, for Notre Dame?
Yeah. So just right here, New Mexico, Bowling Green, USC, Virginia Tech, Duke, Navy, and Boston College all have a bye the week before they play Notre Dame.
You know what they have in common though? They're all shitty.
Yeah, so. Most of those teams suck. So
well, you're right, but USC always has athletes, if nothing else.
They do. They do.
So
it's a tough game.
Some motivation, you can have a ball game on your hands real quick.
Yeah. Well, look, Kalen, we appreciate you being on the show. I'd wish you luck in fantasy football, but obviously you need to be destroyed. Where were you when you watched that Rudy jersey burn live on Facebook last year? That signed Rudy jersey burn.
I was in my office. Actually, I meant to ask you guys, what's your favorite color, green, blue, or gold? I'm going to be buying some flags to send to you guys just in case. Just in case we pull this fucking game off here.
Oh, so for the fans at home, I said if Notre Dame went to the college football playoffs, and I said this on Drinkin Bros Sports, so sign up on Facebook. It's a private group, and we can talk shit. I said if Notre Dame went to the college football playoffs this year, I would hang a flag outside of my house and fly it for 1 year.
Yep.
I will let you choose the color of flag, and I will hang it outside my house for the entire year. I'm standing by that bet.
Is there a limit to how fucked up this flag can be? Is he going to put a dick on there? What's going on?
No, look, we got HOAs and bullshit, man. So just make it your standard Notre Dame flag, but I'll let you choose any color.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, my kids also got a playroom. I'll put one of those signs up that says "Play like a champion" today. One of the Notre Dame signs above it, so you can see that in the morning on his way to kindergarten.
There you go. You can smack it on his way out the door every day.
All right, man. I look forward to dismantling you at the draft next week. I'll see you then, Kalen.
I haven't looked forward to this as much as my first girlfriend putting her hand down my pants. I mean, this is.
I get it,
my
man.
time of the year, man.
Look, it's like playing Jordan in a one-on-one game. You only get one shot at this, so you best not miss, my man, because I'm the best to ever do it in fantasy. Appreciate you being on the show. We'll chat soon. Let's go to Cody.
All right, see you, man.
Cody's coming up.
Did you notice?
I actually like Kalen. I've never talked to him before.
No, he's all right, except for that whole Notre Dame shit. He's
actually a good dude.
Did you notice how he said, "Put my girl's hands down my pants"?
Yeah.
He kind of sounded like Squirrely Dan.
Oh yeah.
From Letterkenny there.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Jamie, our producer, I want to give you a shout out. Something you had written on the board earlier. Jared, his flight is late.
Yeah, I texted him that.
Okay, cool. So he will be here when he gets here.
Yep.
Probably a weight issue on the plane. They'd probably just shift him to the other side.
Or a smell.
Yeah. What time is Jared getting in?
9:06.
Whew.
Probably have to wait till tomorrow.
Whew. Jared. Classic Jared.
Classic.
Hello?
Cody.
What's up?
Welcome to Drinkin' Bros Sports, brother. Why don't you turn that phone down a tad?
What's going on, big man?
Who's your favorite college football team?
The Sooners.
Oh, okay, good. Look, this is a good one. We got a Boomer Sooner here. What is your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? He just got announced the starter about an hour ago here, live on the program. What are your thoughts on the Sooners this year? A lot of people are high on them, actually.
It really depends on the Jalen that shows up. I mean, if he can show up and actually show off his arm and be accurate, we have a really good chance at least doing well. I mean, if he pulls this crap that they pulled in the National, then we're screwed.
Yeah, man. So here's my feeling on this, and I hopefully you're honest about your team. No one plays defense in that entire conference. Therefore, Jalen's gonna have to put 60 on the board. Does he have the accuracy to do that week after week? Throw 40 fucking balls.
I think so, only because we normally have a really strong backfield, so we can alleviate a little bit of pressure.
That's true.
I don't think he can air it out as accurately as Baker could.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see in week 1. They're playing Houston, and that team doesn't play any defense either. So
the over-under should be 80.
It's 74 or 79.5.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so. Let me look.
So fucking funny, man. I was so close on that.
It is. Fuck, I lost it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through your schedule here, because Texas came on at the end of the year.
I think they're getting overshadowed by a lot of people. I think they could be a powerhouse if they play like they did at the end of last year.
I know Dan's got him in his Final Four here for the
I think Texas is going to make it.
Playoffs. So
it's 79.5.
Yeah, 79.5 is your opening
so
game
he's gonna
against
get a chance.
Houston, man.
He's going to get a chance to air it out, and he's either going to do it or not, right? But that's a good confident. If you're a quarterback in a system that requires you to throw a ball, that's a good opening game to schedule. I don't know if they did that on purpose or it's coincidence, but that worked out for him because, look, they play Houston and South Dakota.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some points in both of those games, one way or another.
They're going to have to build him up pretty big. I mean, really, I'm not really worried about anybody but Texas. OSU always gives us a strong game, but that's just because it's a rivalry game. That happens every year.
Yep.
And then they completely fall apart.
You're not worried about
Texas,
Iowa State?
Yeah, I was going to say the one you should watch out for is Iowa State, man. They always sneak up and upset 2 people a year.
But they just lost both their 6'4" wide receivers that gave us a nightmare, I'm pretty sure, to the draft.
They did, yes. But it's one of those weird teams, man. They just, they just seem to find a way. I know. I don't know how. They never end up in the top 5 or anything. But every year they upset 2 people. So I think, as an Oklahoma fan, those are the 3 games you probably have to worry about. Oklahoma State, Texas, and then Iowa State. And I think the rest of the schedule sets up pretty nice for you guys. You got Texas Tech.
Smooth.
Yeah, you got Texas Tech and all that stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, Tech could always show up and beat somebody, though. They've never stopped airing out. I mean, they could show up and beat anybody.
Especially
can't sleep on them, but that should be a W. But if they don't show up, it's going to be a loss.
Yeah, but they got a new coach, so they got to deal with that. So
That's true.
We'll see. Where do you have them finishing the season, Oklahoma, this year?
Man, it's really hard to tell without laying eyes on Jalen. Honestly, I have them losing at least 1 game, possibly 2 for sure.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So I've got them. I got them losing against Texas, and then I'm going to throw in a wonky Iowa State game, and then they'll probably go against Texas for the conference championship. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it should be. It should be the Big 12 should play out almost exactly the way it did last year.
Yeah, and I think we had a Notre Dame fan on right before you. I think here's the difference with Oklahoma. If you guys lose to Texas early, right? If you beat Texas late in that championship game, you might squeeze into the top 4.
Well, that's what happened last year.
That's what happened last year.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
Yeah. And that second Texas game came down to the wire.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'd say what, man, your team looks sexy for the future, man. I think that Rattler kid is going to be the fucking truth.
Man, I'm hoping so. They're putting a lot of faith in that kid. I was really glad he decided to stay after Jalen transferred in, but
same, because I do think you need a year. Starting as a freshman is always tough, but I think that kid is going to be pure sex coming up for you guys. He talks a lot of shit, and he just reminds me of. He's kind of got that moxie like Baker had. So I think, look, the future is bright in Oklahoma.
Especially playing for Lincoln. I mean,
Yep.
If you're a quarterback and you honestly want to go pro, there's not that many places to go other than Oklahoma where you're going to have a genius like that that's going to make you, even if you're not really a Heisman guy, you're going to get Heisman numbers just on our offense.
Oh, 100%. Anywhere in the Big 12, you're going to get those Heisman numbers. So, hey, man, thanks for the time today. And, the future is bright in Oklahoma. I just don't know if it's this year per se, but they're going to be fun to watch. All right. Thanks, buddy. We'll go to the next one.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
See you, man.
You want to follow this up with the other Sooner fan that's on here?
Let's do it.
Forrest Maverick. Dossier? That's a weird last name.
What's weird? What's weird about it?
By the way, somebody wrote in to me and was just like, I'll tell you right after this then. It's pretty funny.
Hello?
Hi, Forrest.
Holy shit.
Yeah, get your dick out, brother.
Welcome, brother. Welcome
dick out.
to Drinkin' Bros Sports. Forrest Maverick. Is it Dossier? We're trying to figure out that last name.
It's Dozier.
So why the H?
Yeah.
You probably should have taken that out.
Like bulldozer?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much just like that, yeah.
Yeah, you probably should have taken that H out. So, hey, ironically, the person we called right before you is a big Sooner fan. Where do you see them ending up this year?
That's
exactly what he said.
That. Well, I don't know. They've got us ranked as number 4 in one of the polls that I've seen.
All of them.
So, if I had to guess, at least maybe not to the top bowl, but one of the big ones.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they'll definitely
we've got Jalen.
They'll make a top 10 bowl.
Yep.
For sure.
I think they'll make a top 10 bowl. So the top 25 came out today for AP. AP's got the same as the coaches poll. So they got Oklahoma at 4. Look, we had just talked to a caller right before you about it. That Texas game is tough. Iowa State is tough. And, Oklahoma State, obviously rivalry game, and we'll see. But it could end up being the same thing as last time, where you play Texas in that championship game again.
I think there's a high chance that it could be. Yeah, I mean, because Texas is quite definitely one of our tough rivalries. But I mean, and Oklahoma State is a 50-50 shot either way.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel about Jalen Hurts? I asked the guy right before you how he felt about him at QB, and the toughest part is you got to put 60 on the board in that conference to win. Is he going to be accurate enough? And is he on a short leash? Let me ask you that.
I don't think he's on a short leash. I think he's here to show that he could go farther than what Alabama thought he could.
Okay.
And that he's going to pretty much take us where we should be with a new coach and everything.
Yeah, because
this is the second year with Lincoln Riley as head coach. So
yeah, and look, you got a good running game. The only thing is his accuracy. Look, I like that Rattler kid a lot. I think this is just a guess. If he starts struggling early on, right?
Yeah,
I think that they go to Rattler and let him play it out. I think if they get housed by Texas, I think they might move on to Rattler and see where that plays out. But look, Jalen Hurts is a person I root for, just because I think he's a class act across the board.
He did it right. Some of these guys that transfer don't.
Yeah, and so like I don't want to shit on Jalen Hurts at all, man. I'd like for this to be a great success story for him. Because in my opinion, he got boned at Alabama with that whole fucking Tua sitch.
he's got some stuff that I think Alabama would let him show that I think Lincoln's going to tap into. But I have a feeling that Texas will be the deciding game for him.
Yep.
Just because that's such a big rivalry with us that if you don't do good, then I guarantee you they're going to be like, okay, man, you got to sit it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do too. Well, look, best to you, best to the Sooners this year, and appreciate you listening to the show, my man.
Oh, man, I love the show, both Sports Companion and the regular one. You guys are the greatest. Keep it up.
You're the greatest.
No, you're the greatest for real, man. Well, like, dude, you guys are the reason we're on the air and we can keep the lights on. So, thank you very much, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Bye,
All right,
buddy.
see you, buddy.
Next up, we'll go to Richard Danoff. It's one of my faves, dude. I talk about him all the time. I know he's an Ohio State guy. He's got one of the best tailgates in the business, him and Tony Tamparello. And we'll be at his tailgate. So before we get him on the horn here, you can go ahead and dial the number. Dan and I will be at the Penn State game, Penn State, Ohio State. Obviously, both of us went to school there. And we'll be live from Richard's tailgates, who we're calling right now. But that's always a fucking good time.
Mr. Patterson. Dancing.
Oh, boy. The last time I saw you, I was sleeping in a fucking trailer in the middle
Penn
of a
State.
field.
Yeah.
And you woke us up for no reason. And then
6 a.m. Well, no, he had to get in. He had to get
and then
in
he
the
sat.
trailer.
Then he sat there and drank outside the trailer for 2 more hours.
He goes hard, dude.
Yeah.
Richard goes hard.
And
True.
I've
When
got
you're
your
an
fucking
Ohio
Buckeyes
State
here.
fan, you have to be a homer.
Yeah. So for anybody watching the video show on YouTube, Dan's got your Buckeyes here. So he's holding them up. He's going to wear them to the Penn State Ohio State game as promised.
Awesome.
Look, Justin Fields just got named the starter, which we all knew, obviously. Where do you got Ohio State this year?
So saying Justin Fields is the same thing as saying the sky's blue.
Yeah, that was an easy call. And we look, we all knew that. I don't know where that fake article popped up over the weekend or last week.
Probably CNN.
Yeah. Bright Don Lemon, brother. Yeah.
I think our first big test will be Nebraska, but I think we'll still come out maybe, I'd say 10 to 13. I think we'll struggle the first half because, normally we are a second half team via everything you've seen, the last couple of years.
Sure.
But I don't think we're going to have as many problems as everybody else is thinking. Ryan Day's been on the staff for the last 3 years.
Yes, and he's a genius.
Boston College wanted him. Tennessee wanted him.
Yep.
He's going to be a beast. My only worry is our offensive line. I'm not sure how many guys we're bringing back. They were a little sloppy last year. Our defense is going to be nasty. We plucked coaches from, the state up north and all that stuff.
Yep.
I think we're going to beat Dan's little alma mater by at least 13. I know I called last year. I called 10 last year, and we only won by 1. But, I'm going to have the fake state guy here himself, Craig Gillespie, in the house Ohio State for the game. So I don't think we'll have a problem there. The game against the team up north against Michigan will be the big test because, like you stated earlier, if he doesn't do well, then he's gone. So there's so much pressure on him. So that could be a huge game where we're both undefeated going into that game, and I think it's going to be your upset. So all these other teams you're talking about, Oklahoma, Texas, I think most of them teams might come in with 2 losses.
Hey, look, it's possible, man. I honestly don't see, and things can change as the season goes on. I don't see Michigan as a threat to Ohio State this year, and I'll tell you why. They were a threat last year, or at least a presumed one, and we all thought that Harbaugh's job was on the line, and they fucking sucked.
Yeah. Look, Ohio State hung 62 on them.
Yeah.
And it was
I think they're in their head, man, at
brutal.
this point. After 7 years.
I hope so. I really do. But I think the way this season sets up for Michigan and their schedule, if there is one down year for Ohio State, it is new coach, transferred quarterback. This is their only year to get in because next year, Ohio State's going to be favored to play in the national championship.
Yeah, you would think so.
With Justin Fields, his second year under there. So
if the biggest concern about about their offense is that the offensive line is not as good maybe as it was in years past, Fields is a little bit more mobile than
he's the fastest guy in college football. So
he's certainly more so than Dwayne Haskins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Dobbins is going to have 1,000 to 1,500 yards this year.
Yeah. I think honestly, I would not be surprised. I don't think they're favored to, but I would not be surprised if things work out with Fields and Day if they are in the top 4. If they're in the CFP, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Me neither. I did on our college prediction show. I got Michigan going in because I just don't think a team gets that fucking unlucky for an entire century, because we're going on. This is 19 years. I think they've won twice this century,
something like that. Yeah.
In this, they've lost 7 in a row. We're nearing 3,000 days.
They won in 2003 and 2011.
Yeah. We're nearing 3,000 days in between victories here at this point, which is crazy to say out loud. So I think if it's going to happen, it's got to be this year, because it definitely isn't going to be next. And but I think if Fields is the superstar, the number one choice of 2018 and the highest rated quarterback in 12 years, and all the fucking hype that's behind this kid, if the hype turns out to be real, watch out.
Yeah, because we will not struggle on defense this year.
No,
we were ranked in the 80s last year. We plucked 2 awesome defensive coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 9 starters returning. We've got the number 1 class in 2021, and then a top 5 in 2020.
Yeah.
So this could be a run where we're in the next 3 years of being in the top 4, as long as the offense does what it's supposed to do.
Correct. And Ryan Day does have coaching experience. So, Dan and I were at the game last year, TCU. He coached the first 3 games of last year, and he's great. He's a fucking genius, and Ohio State backed up the truck, and I think it was smart of them to do that. So he's great. I think Justin Fields is going to be great. I hope it's this year, but we'll see. Either way, I could absolutely see them sneaking in, but it is solely on Justin Fields, and we'll see, because the rest of the team is loaded, man, on offense and defense.
That's correct.
Except our offensive line is young. But you're right. He can scramble out of that.
I'm not too worried about the offensive line. They have a potential All-American running back, maybe second team All-American running back, and they have Fields.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
No.
Honestly, those defensive teams
the
are
read option is going to be nasty.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Those teams that do put pressure on them defensively are probably going to pay a price for it if they're not ready for that, for the speed that those two guys have.
Well,
so we'll see.
KJ Hill is going to be able to just jump up and catch any ball that he throws within 4 feet of him.
Yeah, he's fun. It's going to be a fun season and a fun team. But in years past, look, you could always slot in Ohio State for the college football playoffs. This is the one year that I can say, I don't know. We'll see how Fields does. Either way, Richard, we appreciate you being on the show and look forward to being at your tailgate soon, buddy.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you in November.
Hell yeah, I'll see you then.
See you.
Bye.
Somebody wrote in, it was the story I was going to tell you right before we went on. The guy goes, Ross, you need to check your fucking ego, dude, and let Dan talk a little more. What they don't understand is this. We're doing live shows now on YouTube. You have to physically call these people and type in the numbers. Therefore, you're not able to talk. So I try to keep the conversation going so that way people on the audio show know, hey, man, all right, cool. We don't have any dead air for them.
Dead air is a bad idea.
In our business.
Yeah, it's not good. At any rate, I'm going to call Tim Fry. He looks like he might be a Tennessee Volunteer. I certainly hope not, because then we're not going to have anything to talk about. Because they fucking suck.
We actually will, man. I know. I say you can give them a call. I always say all the time on the show.
It's good to rage there.
I wish Tennessee was good, man. It's a fun school.
No, brother. I love this way your sister tastes.
Hello?
Tim Fry. Who is that, or what was that?
Nah, dude. I was just throwing that out there. That's my fantasy football team name.
What is it? Repeat it.
I love the way your sister tastes.
Oh, God.
Where are you from, Tim?
Originally from St. Louis, but I'm in Tennessee.
Okay.
And who's your team?
So I'm split. I'm a Mizzou fan by blood, and I'm Tennessee by proxy.
Okay, great. So let's talk about Tennessee then, because I Missouri, they're going through their own shit here, obviously. Whatever that revolt happened against that where the schools stopped showing up to their games. That's a whole nother fucking issue with Mizzou. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Well, they do have the Clemson transfer in, for the quarterback. So
yeah, that's
kind
true.
of an interesting play.
That's true. But let's talk about Tennessee, because I say this all the time on the show, and I don't know how often you listen, but Tennessee used to be one of the most dominant programs there is in college football. Then after T. Martin won a national championship, they fell off the face of the planet for virtually 20 years. It is a blast to go to. They have a huge alumni.
Oh, yeah.
They have a huge booster system that will pay any amount of dollars to put a good football team on the field. Why can't they get a good fucking team there in Tennessee?
Honestly, so I honestly think they ride the past too much. They're not willing to get with the new times. I mean, they even signed T. Martin back to the team. He's part of the team.
Really?
Philip Fulmer is now like the athletic director. So they're trying to go back in time and rebuild this stuff with the whole Peyton Manning thing and everything. So they're just not. The thing is, like this past year, they got all these big top recruits to sign on because the head coach used to play. He used to be a coach for Alabama. So it was like,
that's right.
Everybody's got these hopes and dreams, but then you got a bunch of people that decommit before the season even starts. So there's something going on in the backside that we don't see. That's why you had I forgot the running back a few years ago that was a beast, and then he's just like, I'm transferring this year, I'm done. So
that's strange, man. Because again, you go to a game there, you can the rich alumni, you can bring your boats up, park on the river, and then walk into the game.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. The parties are amazing. What do you guys seat? About 108? I haven't been there in maybe 15 years, but.
So when they include standing room, I think they hold the record for most attendees, and I think it was like 128. Whew. It's a huge stadium.
Yeah, it's massive.
Huge.
It's massive. And I went to a Tennessee-Georgia game there. That was the one game I saw there, and it's a fucking blast. I actually got I did a recruiting trip there. I got recruited by them out of high school, and it was fucking fun. I wasn't going to start there because, again, they were a powerhouse. Yeah. I wasn't going to start there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a blast. It was one of the great college football atmospheres. I wish they were good for the sake of college football, because it's good for college football when Tennessee is good.
Yeah. They haven't lost honestly, less than 4 in a regular season since 2006.
Oof.
I mean, that's a long time. Most of those seasons were 6 or 7 losses, actually.
Oh, boy.
There's like 4 seasons that are 4-loss seasons.
Here's the deal: is they play tough teams really good, and then they play weak teams really bad.
Yeah.
So,
like I'm looking at just their a couple of these seasons, they're beating teams in the top 10 and then getting whipped by teams that aren't even ranked.
Yeah. It's strange.
I mean, take this for example. So Alvin Kamara, huge NFL running back now. When he was at Tennessee, he barely got used.
No, you're right. It's crazy. So I don't know what's going on there, what they're doing. You're right, though. It's got to be something behind the scenes, because it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, they had Arian Foster. They've had some fucking talent at that school.
Jason Witten. Jason Witten.
Peyton Manning.
I'm talking about more recently.
Yeah, but I mean, look,
within the last 10 years.
God damn it, man. And the women there.
Albert Hainsworth is, he was the biggest, when he got that contract, it was massive,
Yeah,
so,
and look, man, the town of Knoxville's a blast. The women are hot. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Yeah. I would say that it's probably going to, I would say over the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see a turn. I don't know that this is a season. They're projecting Gritanomo. He's the quarterback. He had a horrible season last year, but they're saying that he's learned a lot and is going to turn the corner. I opened the Axe Throwing Company here in Knoxville, and we had the Tennessee tight ends in.
Yeah. What's the name of your company? Shout out your company.
Shout out your company.
Oh, Smoky Mountain Axe House. So
awesome.
We're right outside of Knoxville. We're the only one in East Tennessee, so veteran owned. We're rocking it out. So
hell yeah,
nice.
But those guys came in and threw axes, and I'm telling you, there's some big boys. So we have partnered up with old. He was drafted by the Jets, Eric Ainge. So he's an old time Tennessee quarterback. He was drafted by the Jets But he owns his own podcast now and stuff, and then he comes in and throws. But he coordinated having those guys come in. He's a Ball for Life, with Peyton and all those guys. But,
yeah, man. I tell you what, if Tennessee ends up being any good, and we come up there to do a show, we'll do it live from your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all in on that.
Do you guys drink there?
I'm day one listener for both shows, guys. No, we decided to go no alcohol because we wanted to go more family oriented, to have little kids coming and throwing stuff. So
that's understandable. Okay. So what's your final prediction on Tennessee's record this year?
Man, that's
I mean, they play at Florida, at Alabama. They play Georgia. Man, that sucks.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they're going to win 7. They're going to win 7 and finally get back into a bowl, which it doesn't matter if winning season or not. If Tennessee makes it to the bowl, everyone goes buck around here. I mean, it's just party,
of course.
Party, so.
Of course. All right, 7-5, man. Awesome. Well, hey, man, we appreciate it, Tim. Enjoy the day, and thanks for listening to Drinkin' Bros, brother.
All right. Peace out, brothers.
All right, see you,
bye.
man.
Ryan Rhodes is up next. I can tell you, I've partied with Ryan Rhodes. We did a live show in New Orleans, and this is going to be an LSU fan, I believe.
Do you think he's related to Dusty Rhodes?
Fuck. Wouldn't that be amazing? You're related to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Does anybody know that? Have we talked about that on air?
I think we mentioned it once, yeah.
That's pretty goddamn awesome.
I should just show up with a fucking 2x4 from time to time.
It'd be great. I told you he was at a Comic-Con. We were both signing shit. It was when I was doing the first book. And they were like, hey, do you want to sign 2x4 by Hacksaw? I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Who would not want that?
Great. You kind of look like him, dude.
No.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, Ryan Rhodes. Welcome to Drinkin' Bros, brother.
How did I know this was going to be you before I get into it?
Well, it's a block number, so you knew it was going to be Dan. I'm surprised it instead of ringing, it wasn't just a woman screaming in your ear. Kill me.
When Dan calls, it's usually a picture of Sandusky masturbating. So
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan, you're an LSU guy. Are you?
I am the LSU guy.
Yeah, you are. Look, Tony's got that distinguished title, I think, Tony Tamborello. But
I will fight him for it.
Oh, let's do that. Let's set up a fucking rough and rowdy style while these two dicks fight.
Hell yeah.
Tony, if you're listening to this, I'm calling your ass out. You can even make a move out of it.
Let's hear it, man. What's your prediction for LSU? This is a fun team, a sexy team this year. Dan and I personally love coming there. It was one of our favorite trips last year, so we hope you guys are great. We will be at the Texas LSU game. What is your prediction for LSU Tigers this year?
So we kind of talked about this a little bit in New Orleans, and it's going to be I'm cautiously optimistic with the LSU team. I do believe they're going to be better than they were last year, and they surprised me with how well they did last year. I honestly thought they would suck last year. But Joe Burrow came into his own. He got better and better as the years progressed.
Mm-hmm.
All reports are saying that he's only getting better. Ed Orgeron's doing something a little bit different than Les Miles did. He actually opens the practices to the media. So the media gets to actually go in there and report and tell us what they see and tell us what the teams look like. And, we've heard for years and years, the offense will be different. The offense will exist this year.
Right.
And they're saying the same thing, so I'll believe it when I see it, but it's a little bit different, I guess you could say this time, because they brought in Joe Grady, who's the Saints guy, to be the quote-unquote passing game coordinator, but everybody thinks he's actually a true offensive coordinator, and Steve Ensminger is just kind of waiting until he can retire. So I'm a little cautiously optimistic. I would love to say, hey, they'll win every game, but let's be real. There's the giant elephant in the room. That was a total intended pun.
Yep, Alabama.
That is Alabama. That is correct. I say that I will know if they can go into Austin and beat Texas. I think LSU is easily a 10-win team. And I'm pretty sure as it sits right now, they are favored in every game except for the Alabama.
That's correct.
To win in Austin.
Yes, it's 6, and that's a big number.
That's pretty surprising to me that it's that big.
Same.
Like, Austin's not the easiest place to win.
No, they got some tough games though. I mean, that Austin game's tough. They got to play Auburn, although that's an LSU. They should definitely win that game. We don't know again about Florida. We just don't know how good that team is yet.
Florida.
Then they play A&M, but luckily
A&M
three of those 4 games are at home.
Or at home, correct.
And then they got to go on the road to play Alabama.
Yeah, that's going to be the killer. A&M's got to come to Tiger Stadium, and as pissed off as the whole team is after that 7 overtime debacle last year.
Yeah, no shit.
I think A&M's going to be lucky to leave there alive.
What was it,
so
77 to 71 or some shit?
Yeah, that was the craziest shit of all time.
It was in the 70s.
Yeah.
They changed the overtime rules because of that game. It got ridiculous. LSU literally had their entire secondary go down with cramps.
Yeah.
Like 6 overtime.
I don't know who mentioned it.
Wild one, man.
I don't know who mentioned it before, but before 2 years ago, I think LSU at Alabama, that was a tough out for Alabama.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, for the last 10 years, they were getting spanked pretty good. We'll see if they can come back and do that again this year. I think there's a lot of more question marks about Alabama than people are letting on.
Well, that was going to be my next point. There's two factors as far as the LSU Alabama game is concerned. How good is LSU going to be, and is Alabama going to take a step back? Because not to say Alabama's not talented, because they're fucking loaded like they always are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Tua kind of got figured out a little bit at the end of the year. People started to kind of recognize. They saw enough film on him. It's like, I think we can defend this guy, and a few people did it successfully. Georgia did it at least for a half. Clemson just completely embarrassed him. Now you have to have the horses to do that, but if there's a handful of schools in the country that do have those horses, LSU's probably one of them.
Yeah, look, I like Burrow a lot. He was at Ohio State. A set of unfortunate circumstances where he got hurt and broke his wrist, where he was supposed to come in and play and couldn't. Haskins took over, and then Haskins became Haskins. Nothing you can do about that. I think this. He looked good last year, and he transferred late, and it's really fucking hard to pick up an offense that late. But he looked pretty goddamn good, and LSU looked to be on the come up, right? That Alabama game was shitty. Dan and I were there, obviously.
Was it 29-0?
29-0. But to me, they show a lot of promise. I think if they have a really strong showing and end up beating Texas, that sets up a showdown, and I think they could beat Alabama at Alabama.
If they beat Texas and Austin, I think they'll go into Alabama undefeated.
Yeah. Again, depending upon how Florida looks, but yes. I think there's a good shot at that, and if they beat Texas, but they got to get by that Texas game. Hopefully, that offense is as sexy as people are saying. They got a new. Everybody's saying they're finally getting into this century with their new offense. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like, but the future looks bright for LSU this year, and I'm excited to watch them play.
It does, and I'll bring up a guy's name by the name of John Emery. He's a local running back who got recruited, who is supposed to be the next Leonard Fournette. Now, obviously, in his freshman year, he's probably not going to be Leonard Fournette, but Leonard Fournette made a couple of big splashes in his freshman year, and he's definitely going to see the field. Now, their starter is probably going to be a guy named Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's kind of a smaller dude, but he has kind of a Kamara-esque style to his play. He's got good hands out of the backfield, pretty nimble, pretty quick. From what we heard, they're kind of implementing that into the offense. That's difficult to defend, and it's given teams like Alabama, like Auburn, trouble in the past. So again, yeah, I agree with all that. Now, if they go into Texas and they just get absolutely stomped, I mean, I won't say that's not impossible for that to happen.
Yeah.
It may be a rough year.
I agree. I can tell you this from a gambling aspect. Obviously, we do that a lot on this show and pick spreads. I'm already taking Texas plus -6.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really, really close game.
I'm pretty sure I'm taking that to win, for Texas to win, actually.
Yeah. Dan's got Texas winning that game.
Yeah.
I have it close. I have them beating the spread.
We'll see.
We'll see. Either way, man, it's going to be fun to watch the Tigers. And if they get by Texas, I'm with you. And then I think they have a really good shot at beating Alabama at Alabama.
I'd say they probably have the best shot this year than they've had in probably the last 5 or 6 or so.
I agree.
Now, 9 straight years
Yep.
against Alabama. It's getting fucking old.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm with you. Good luck to you. Go Tigers. And look, we hope to be at a game in LSU. We'll be at the Texas LSU game.
We'll be at the national championship game there in New Orleans either way.
Oh, yes.
So we'll see it sometime.
Yeah, we'll see it at the national championship in New Orleans.
Yeah, I completely forgot it was in New Orleans this year.
Fuck, imagine if LSU was in it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They have been. They've been in it 3 years in New Orleans.
Wow.
And I went to 2 of them.
We'll burn that goddamn city to the ground.
2003, 2007, and then 2011. Now, 2007 they won. They beat Ohio State. Sorry, Ross.
No, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of did too. In 2011, that was the Alabama awful fucking game, and I was at that game, and that was the biggest waste of money I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, so look, to put it in perspective, I've gone to every single Ohio State championship in my lifetime, right? The only one I did not go to was the LSU game because there's no fucking way we were going into an LSU home game in the national championship and winning. So I didn't even bother buying tickets, man. I sat home and watched it and cried like every other Buckeye fan.
Well, my tickets for that game were actually in the Ohio State section. So it was me and about 4 other LSU fans and just like a sea of red and white.
We travel. Nobody travels like the Buckeyes for this shit. So
it showed up pretty good, but like the first place in scrimmage, I think Beanie Wells housed it for like a 68-yard touchdown, and then like every drunk frat boy Ohio State fan around me was yelling like SEC speed, oh monk, and then Matt Flynn just proceeded to come into the game and dismantle Ohio State defense, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, look, man. Good luck to the Tigers this year, and we'll see you down in New Orleans here in a couple months.
That'd be awesome, man.
All right,
and Tony,
buddy.
Tony, I will fight you for that title. I'll make a fucking belt and everything. We're gonna put a fucking eye of the tiger on the goddamn belt.
You gotta outdo that muffalata sandwich.
You gotta outdo that sandwich, homie. That's gonna be tough.
I can't do a better. I'll say this: I cannot do a better muffalata, but I have several dishes that may rival.
Okay.
Look, if you just bring me like some LSD or something, I'll vote for you. I don't give a shit what it tastes like.
Dan will always take LSD over a good dish.
I may or may not have. You know, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, this is live on air. Let's just talk about that offline.
Yeah. At least you got an acid hookup. Thanks, buddy. We'll go on.
All right, see you, man.
We'll go on to Seth Morton now. Man, would you ever take acid before going into a football game?
Yeah, for sure.
So if hypothetical, right? Let's say we end up at an LSU game this year, outside the national championship. Shit, would you drop acid at a national championship game?
I mean, it depends on what kind of show the people want, because it's going to be a different show if I'm on acid. Obviously.
Well, no, we don't have to do the show before then, obviously, but you know,
at the national championship game, probably not, because I'd want to enjoy the game.
Yeah,
and acid is not something you take to go enjoy a football game with 100,000 people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it was some kind of other event, like the night before at the concert or whatever the fuck, yeah, I would do that for sure.
Okay.
All right, who are we calling? Seth Morton?
Seth Morton. Give him a jangle.
Ring, ring, ring.
I like the surprises where we don't know the team.
Yeah.
We don't know which team it is.
I think this is a Georgia guy.
Is it really?
I think so.
Hello. Seth Morton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Drinkin' Bros. Who's your college team?
Bulldogs, man.
Dan called it. It is a Bulldogs fan. That's great. I don't think we've had a Bulldogs fan on yet, have we?
Nope. Not today.
I don't think so.
All right, Seth. Let's talk. Let's talk. Game recognizes game here. I said this was the year you guys beat Alabama in the SEC championship, and then you end up playing Clemson for the national championship. How do you think Georgia's going to do this year?
Not a prayer. Loses 3.
What?
Yeah, we're going to lose to Notre Dame, Florida, and Auburn.
Oh, man. As a Georgia fan, how can you say that? You'll stomp Notre Dame.
Look, Georgia, any Georgia team, Braves, Falcons, Bulldogs, crack under the pressure of the top 4 or a championship run, always. So right now they've got to come out number 3. They've already lost the season just by being under the pressure of top 4.
Jesus. Are you sure you're a Georgia fan?
That's the most unbelievably awesome fucking thing I've ever heard. Man, that's shocking to hear. Georgia fans, Ethan Ward, who's one of the admins in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook, he's a diehard Bulldog fan. He got all in it last year. Yeah, we're glad I'm back and do that. No, they didn't. I like your honesty with that. Notre Dame, though, is not very good this year, so you'll beat them.
Maybe if we drop down to number 8 in the ranking, give us something to do. But
so you think
like
it's all
man,
mental at Georgia then?
All the time, man. There's a curse on any Georgia team ever. We always choke when it matters, and it doesn't matter if we can have Trevor Lawrence, Tua, and Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields on the same team. We're going to choke out UCF.
Let me ask you something. Did you grow up watching the 1990s Braves? Is that where all this comes from?
Yeah.
Just the one World Series.
We should have won way more than
14
one.
division titles
Jesus
in a row and one
Christ.
World Series.
That's crazy.
And my memory's pretty good too. I do remember, was it 2 years ago we choked in the national championship? Was it like the year before that the Falcons choked in the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
so
same year.
I've lost all my gumbo for Georgia team. Love them, but right now I got my eye on Clemson just because Trevor Lawrence went to the same high school that I went to. So.
Oh man, how great is that guy, by the way?
Man, it's like the kid's unreal, man.
Yeah.
Even in high school, I would take my kids to watch him play, and I'm like, man, this kid's gonna be something. And it's like he doesn't change from high school to college.
I don't think he's ever lost a game, has he?
Well, no, he lost his last high school football game in the playoffs.
So that's the only game he's lost in his career.
It's Tate Martell who's never lost.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, guess what?
Well,
He's not going to lose this year either.
Tate Martell plays in a daddy's money league, so of course he's not going to lose.
Yeah, a lot of people say that about that Vegas school, and that's where like Snoop Dogg's kid and all that shit went. But they pump out some Bishop Gorman, I think it is. They pump up some decent talent. So it is what it is. Well, anyways, Seth, man, you're ridiculously hilarious. Dude,
yeah, that's funny. Man, you're dead inside. I can tell.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever.
My soul's been gone for a while.
I don't think we've ever had anybody on here who's just giving up on their team right before
Like
the
immediately,
season starts.
yeah.
It's great.
You just walked into the middle of the ring and threw a white towel down and said, "Fuck these guys."
I mean, you got to be fucking real with yourself when you've got a team that like shits the bed like a Georgia team does. You just got to be real with yourself. I mean, it's a party all season long because you don't have to get your expectations up.
I fucking love this guy. Seth Morton, man, it was a pleasure, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
I'd wish you luck, but it sounds like you don't want it. So.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, see you,
All
man.
right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right,
man. Bye. The next guy, Ty Eli.
BYU, you fucking kidding me?
This is hilarious. Call him and ask what he's. I mean, he does say we'll never win anything. It's so strange to me when. Well, I guess BYU was They were a decent
They
team
can play
in the
spoiler
80s.
from time to time.
Yeah, they can. And look, I think when like Steve Young and those guys were there, like
McMahon.
Yeah, they had some teams, but not anymore. It's so weird to root for a team that will never win a national championship to me.
Yeah,
or not ever have a chance to.
Maybe he's a merman. Ty Eli. So let me ask you something.
Go for it.
Why BYU?
Because that's where I got my undergrad. I'll
I
cheer
see.
for the Cougars.
I see.
Okay. I don't care how you bring them, just bring them young.
Let me ask you this. This is a follow-up.
Yeah, go for it.
Did you smash a lot of ass at BYU? How's the pussy situation there?
Great question.
Well, I'll be quite frank. It's very pale.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you've seen the Key and Peele skit with this year's draft, it's pretty true.
It's Mormon, right?
Merman.
Yeah, it's owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah.
Okay.
98% Mormon. The last 2% are Chinese.
Well, I mean, last year they started letting people drink, so they put soda vending machines on campus. So
they started letting them drink Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but now they've come out with a new list of additional things that are against policy. The Mormons have, like green tea is one of them.
Yeah.
I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you LDS guy?
I am, actually.
So how do you reconcile that with being a drinking bro? And that's a very curious situation to me because we're a bunch of fucking maniacs.
Yeah. Do you drink in real life?
No, I don't. I've got serious, addiction issues.
Oh, there you
Anything
go.
I start, I can't stop. So I've chosen to abstain from alcohol. But caffeine, on the other hand, I'll put 800 to 1,000 milligrams a day down. Not a problem.
Yeah, 900 is is where the cutoff is supposed to be. So you're right at the edge.
Yeah,
there,
it's the LD. Yeah, it can get dangerous at times.
Well, there you go. Drinking Bros. It takes all types.
Yeah, and look, if you're not drinking alcohol, drink Black Rifle Coffee. Promo code DrinkinBros20 for 20% off. Where do you got BYU? What's their record this year?
I'll put them at 4-6.
Ah, look at that. A nice little 4-6
They're
season.
They're playing a couple of good schools. I mean, you got Washington and Tennessee. I mean,
Shit,
they're all ranked.
they play
University
Utah
of
first week. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Desert Bowl.
They played Boise State and South Florida. Those are
They're not going to beat Boise State.
No.
Yeah, no. As an independent team, they're pretty good. But I mean, they've got a good lineup. They're not a great team, but whatever. It's fun to cheer for them, anyways.
Well, since your team sucks, tell us a funny story from when you were at school there.
Yeah,
Are you what do you do in the Army, by the way?
So I'm a brand new infantry lieutenant.
Oh God, you're a fucking lieutenant. Are you lost right now? Do you know where you are?
Well, I'm at Fort Benning School for Wayward Lieutenants right now, so I guess.
Well, try to stay found, I guess. So yeah, tell us a good story from college there. I want to know what it's like on BYU's campus.
Same, man. I've never partied there.
You won't find a party there.
I was gonna say you can't.
No, it's a fantastic school for the education. People are really weird, but it comes with the territory. Weird story that I guess I don't know. I got kicked out of class once.
Okay, let's ask you about the fucking.
Go for it.
Let's ask you about the fucking here. Let's cut to the chase here.
Just before you start that, I got married my sophomore year, so I can't tell you too much.
Well, you can tell us about your wedding night.
Yeah, how was that?
Give us a play-by-play about your wedding night.
How was Rumspringa?
That's the wrong.
Oh gosh,
that's the wrong one.
Wrong one, man.
Oh boy.
Wedding night. Did you just air it out? Were you just going like 5-6 times just because it was the first?
Yeah. So my wife's from Tillamook, Oregon.
Lovely.
A lot of good cheese from up there.
Great.
Dude, she worked at the cheese factory in high school. I'm not
serious.
kidding.
It's like one of the biggest cheese factories in the country.
It's fantastic. Well, so we got married out there, and then stayed at an Airbnb and
just covered each other in cheese.
The next day.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah,
wild as fuck.
Grapes, cheese, alcohol-free wine.
Let's stay away from that.
Alcohol-free wine, I didn't know was the thing. And you said you got kicked out of class. What was that for?
Oh, it's because I drank a Rockstar, and the professor wasn't happy with that.
Whew, man, that's tough.
A Rockstar energy drink?
Yeah, a Rockstar energy drink. Like, whatever. He thought it was Bud Light because it was one of those blue canned ones, but whatever.
I see.
Okay. Did you punch a hole through a drywall after that?
No. I went home and then went fishing. So, life's good.
Ty, you're the nicest person I've ever talked to in my entire life. I'm
creeping me
shocked
out.
that you listen to this show. But know that we are appreciative of it. There's another guy named Marcus Benoff here who says, oh, hell yeah. So he must be a BYU guy as well.
Well, if he was a real BYU guy, he wouldn't have said that.
Exactly.
There's a group of us. There's a group of us.
I bet there is.
Bunch of Jack Mormons out there.
I bet you're all whites. No, I'm kidding.
No, my buddy at BYU turned me on to you guys, so that's how I found out.
That's
awesome.
a great story. Who is this guy?
Grant Hadley, Lieutenant Hadley.
Fantastic.
Interesting. And how long have you been listening to the show?
Since episode 35.
Oh shit!
Right on, man.
Damn, dude.
We actually pulled an all-nighter and drove out to the Shaved Eagle tour in Colorado. Drove back the next day, that evening.
Fuck you. Did we get a picture together?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Did I take a picture with everybody? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
You love seeing your own face. That's why.
Hey, in all sincerity, man, we appreciate you listening to the show, and we're super, super grateful. And good luck to BYU, and best of luck to you, sir.
Hey, thanks. You guys rock.
You too,
Have a
buddy.
good one.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, see you, man.
All right.
The next guy's Brian Tyler.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that guy's great. Fucking A, man. There's so many great people that listen to the show. It always shocks me because we're horrific people. You and I, Dan, are awful people.
Just
man.
the worst, yeah.
Again,
well, you left Jared out of
the
that.
grocery store
Jared
yesterday.
is worse than both of us.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Even leaving the grocery store yesterday, you screamed out "wheelchair."
I did, yeah, really loud. Yeah, I did that. That was me. I know Brian Tyler.
You do know him.
Where have I seen him before? Was it in Philly?
I don't know. I don't recognize that area code.
I recognize his fucking face though.
I don't. I do not.
I'm just gonna let his number play if the fucking thing picks up.
No, don't do it. That'd be terrible.
You reach yourself on a
5.7 million people would fucking call him. Let's call Scott Vance.
Yep. Where do we know him from?
Scott Vance, we know. I feel like we do know him. But again, I like when we don't know who the team is. It's great.
Why is that?
Because it's always a mystery. Then
There's no
so
mystery
far, we've
in
had a
life.
lot of good ones. I mean, we even had BYU fans call, into the show. That's great.
I didn't know anybody actually would from there listen to the show.
That's awesome. That's awesome they do. And look, man, I'm amped that people are proud about their schools.
Yeah.
Even the shitty ones.
This guy's nickname is Trash Panda.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Scott Vance. Scott Vance Refrigeration.
Close enough. Everybody's at dinner now. Nobody's
Your
answering
call
the
has
phone.
been.
Maybe. All right,
Kurt
call
McCorkle.
Kurt McCorkle.
That's an interesting name.
Might have gone too long. Jamie, how long has this show been? 2 hours and 21 minutes. Maybe that was it. We told people we were going to call, but shit, dude. We've been bangers. We've been going for a long time today. This is like a Rogan show today.
Yeah, except for we're better.
Yeah. Rogan doesn't call anybody, does he?
No, he's too busy. He's usually got Bernie Sanders on the show.
That's right. It's crazy, isn't it?
You use Curtis McCorkle.
Oh,
man. Boy. Sorry, Kurt McCorkle. We'll call Zachary Michael.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Oh, he's a Buckeye fan.
Yep. Got to hear more of that bullshit. Kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
After him is Bracalate.
Hello?
Hi, Zachary. Welcome to Drinkin' Bros.
Shit.
You piece
What's
of
up,
shit.
man?
What's up, dude?
What's up with you, Buckeye?
Nothing much, man.
Fucking Buckeyes.
Leaving dinner.
Living the life. Look,
living,
man.
man.
So he's leaving dinner. We'll have to wrap this up soon then.
Yeah.
We called a couple people that were bounced. We forget. We've been doing a Rogan show. We've been going like 2.5 hours here. So you want to talk Buckeyes? Let's talk about it. Justin Fields just got named the starter today. Where do you have the Buckeyes finishing this year?
Ooh, good question. I haven't really looked too much at like the rest of the league. I've been kind of just looking at the Big Ten, mostly just, I'm excited with Fields coming to the Buckeyes for sure. We didn't really see him play too much with the Bulldogs, but, luckily Tate Martell and his cancerous ass left the Buckeyes.
Let me ask you about that since you brought that up. I actually thought Tate Martell was pretty decent, and I think had he had stayed, he might have beaten out Justin Fields. Obviously, he didn't. He had to go down to Miami, try to learn a new playbook, and currently I think he's third on their depth chart. He did not become the starter. You didn't like him. Why not?
Did you ever watch QB1?
I did.
On Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was on that.
I kind of liked him. I didn't know a lot about him. So I went and I watched that. And I just didn't really like kind of the vibe he gave off. I know that it was just like a documentary and they can kind of steer the way that you can feel about a person on shows like that. But I like the way that Justin Fields kind of carries himself a little bit more. I mean, his dad's a cop and he seems like he's got kind of like a better head on his shoulders. And when you look at, other QBs of the past, that the Buckeyes have had, like guys who have been like successful leaders, like JT Barrett and those guys, they kind of carry themselves differently. And I just didn't really see that with Martell. I see it more with Fields.
I agree with that assessment, actually. I got the same feeling when I watched that documentary with him, but I thought maybe he's in high school. He's, top 3 recruit or whatever.
Yeah.
I was an asshole in high school, I'm sure.
You're an asshole now. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
exactly. about. I mean, I can still throw a football over there, over a mountain, though.
Look, can
you see them there mountains?
Yeah. So do you think they make the college football playoffs?
I'm hoping, man, if we can go out, beat Penn State's ass again.
Mm-hmm.
And
which we will. That game's at home.
Why the fuck out of your whole schedule is that the one you singled out?
Yeah.
You can both go fuck yourselves, both of you.
Just as long as we don't, blow on the road against Purdue or some bullshit like that. I'm excited to see like what Ryan Day can do with the program.
Same.
I think that he can do pretty well. I mean, he's got a hell of a team to do it. The defense looks really good again. Tough Borland and Chris Young and those guys.
Chase Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase Young was just named to the All-American team, preseason All-American
Which
team
is like
today.
the fact that preseason All-American teams, like the rankings are one thing, but like naming individual players to preseason All-American teams is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
It's wild. So here's what I think, Zachary. I think if we are able to get by Nebraska week 5, because that's going to be our first really, really tough test. It's on the road. Nebraska thinks they're back. Their fans think they're back. Scott Frost is there. This is their one chance to shine. There'll probably be a night game there. I think if we can beat Nebraska, then we probably go undefeated into Michigan. And things will be looking good, but it all depends on the quarterback. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, we appreciate you being on the show. And, man, go Bucks, dude. D'Anthony and I will be at the Penn State game, so come to Richard Danoff's tailgate and come and rage with us.
Well, fuck yeah, man. I really appreciate you guys giving me a call.
I'm man.
an OG listener for sure. I've been listening for shit since like 2014, so.
Fuck yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks,
I appreciate
brother.
it, man.
Right,
we love you, man. Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks. Brock Latte is up.
He's an infantry guy.
It's one of my favorite names, by the way.
I don't know if that's his real name or not.
Brock Latte.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's the joke of it. Whoever puts fake names on Facebook always weirds me out a little bit. It does. That's a personal
I feel like
thing.
they're hiding either from their family or from the police. And I understand both of those things. So.
Hello.
Hi. Brock Latte.
Oh, what's up?
What's up with you, guy?
Actually watching ESPN after they just went over the top 5 top college teams for this year.
Yeah. Who's your favorite team?
Me? I mean, I'm from Washington State. I'm a UW Huskies all the way. Wife is a Clemson fan, so we root for both here. But I'm a true UW Huskies fan all day. That's
great. So look, your coach is one of my favorites. Obviously, he was dominating at Boise State all those years, Peterson. I was actually hoping he would coach at Ohio State, but then we ended up getting Urban Meyer. I'm a big fan of him. The problem with Washington is they have to completely reload this year. Do you think they can do it?
Honestly, to be truthful, no. Am I still going to root for them and say to myself every game they're going to take it all the way? Yes.
Right.
But I just want to clarify one thing earlier. I was listening to the Epstein podcast. You guys were talking about, dead children don't make these sounds. Well, have you ever put them in a wood chipper?
That's true.
Fair enough, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you got to go head first, obviously.
Well, it's debatable. As Dan would know, when you come from the deuce, that's pretty much our everyday conversations.
You're I can't tell from your rack here, but it looks like you're in first bat 325. Is that right?
508.
508. I see. I can't tell because the fucking flash is too small. Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, I love that place. After 2012, though, kind of turned into a shit show. You know, the deuce, everything's great for 3 to 5 years, and then some new asshole comes in
I think my old Sergeant Major took over as Division Sergeant Major, Lamarcky Knowles. He was a total piece of shit. Yeah, he's the biggest piece of shit that I've ever seen in a uniform in my life, and I'm glad he's gone.
He got a DUI and then chaptered about 6 other NCOs out the next weekend for getting DUIs. I'm like, how does that work?
Well, it works because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, back onto the sports.
Yeah, problem solved. Yeah, look, I'm with you on Washington. I think they upset a couple people this year. But it's tough, man, when you got to completely reload your program like that. Look, your wife's team is the greatest in the country, so.
Oh, dude, I mean, it's crazy. She we had a guy come over do our yard, and he was wearing a South Carolina hat. I was like, dude, you gotta take that off. And he's like, why? I was like, my wife's Clemson fan. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, no, dude, she will fucking cut you. Like, I'm serious. You should probably take that off. And you've met her, Ross, at Southern Pines Brewery. She's only about 4'9", 110 pounds.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. That's really fucking funny, man. Yeah. Look, they're gonna win again this year, and it's I don't think it's close, to be honest with you.
What do you have them for? Win losses. What do you have? I listened to the sports show. I just can't remember.
Washington.
No, UW and Clemson.
I think Clemson's undefeated, but I think Washington was 8-4.
Yeah, 8-4 for Washington is what I got. Clemson's undefeated, and with Clemson, I don't think they lose any game by under 17 points. That's how
Win
unbelievable.
Any game by under 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% with the Clemson. UW though, I think they're taking 9.
They may take 9. They always upset teams, man.
They
even
do
when they're not that great. So
and with a great coach, because I really do love your coach, and he's fantastic. With a great coach, anything is possible.
Yeah.
So 9-3 wouldn't surprise me. Right now, we got him listed at 8-4.
By the way,
the
Matt.
only problem.
Oh, go ahead.
Go
ahead, guy.
No, I was gonna say the only problem I see with UW is they're kind of like the Seahawks. I mean, I love my Hawks to death, but they should have got rid of Wilson's ass a long time ago. And UW, it kind of seems like they get some really solid guys going. They get some good coaching, just like the Seahawks. And then they focus a lot of attention on areas they shouldn't, just like the Seahawks did with Wilson. It's like you just let all of your good defense basically go or break themselves, and you're focusing on, I'd say maybe a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 quarterback. He's consistent and he's pretty good, but it's the defense that carried us for the past few years. And then you throw, our running backs in there, and that was really what took us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, by the way, Matt Best is going to be there signing on books on Wednesday this week.
Yes, from 5 to 7.
I got my notice from Amazon,
nice.
So the book should be here tomorrow, probably early morning. So I'll probably go over there and get it signed because I forgot to do the whole online thing.
No worries.
Got a GhostBed. I shit you not. First time in 5 years. We put it up 2 weeks ago. First time in 5 years I've woken up without back pain. I was like, it's good. It's probably gonna be good, but not like the hype. 100%. I went with the King, the Lux or whatever.
Yeah. The Ghost Lux.
You guys are not bullshitting. It is 110% no joke, legit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if you're gonna ask people to spend this kind of money on a mattress, and again, because of the show, you get a huge discount and everything. They've got to be great, or else we just couldn't push that to the audience, man. It's too big of a decision. So
well, and it makes other things a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, it does, man. Dude, a good night's sleep is one of the most important things.
Or were you talking about banging?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about banging all day.
Yeah, of course. See, he's an 82nd Airborne guy. He was not talking about sleep.
Nah, he was talking about
putting it in. Like 2 hours, you're good.
All right, man. Well, we'll
Thanks
see you
for
soon.
the time, man. We appreciate it. And say hello to Matt for us on Wednesday, brother.
All right, will do.
All right, see you, man.
Bye, buddy.
Later, gentlemen.
We'll take a couple more here. Let's go to Ian Kazuba.
Yeah, we're gonna skip the guy who said he would hang up on us.
Yeah, we'll skip him, and so we'll go down to Ian Kazuba. He's wearing a Summer Swayze shirt in his post here.
Yeah,
so
see that.
He sends me Zima, dude. This guy's fucking awesome, actually.
Let's
Anybody who sends me Zima to the PO box.
Zima or lean or pills or anything like that.
They're friends of mine for life. They're friends of mine for life.
He's from Tennessee. You think this is another Vols guy?
Maybe. Ian.
Yeah.
Kazoo.
Stop being so goddamn impatient, motherfucker.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome, man.
Pretty good.
Welcome, dude. You always send Zima, man, and I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah. No problem. Sorry I couldn't get you a case this year. It kind of ran out at the local shop.
They stopped making it. They stopped making it.
I know. It kind of sucks, but.
Well, luckily there's fucking White Claw and Truly all over the place now. So.
No, well, I'm kind of partial to that new Natty Light shit that came out.
Oh, see, we're gonna do once the 4 Loco one comes out because there's so many out. We're gonna do a whole show where we just taste every flavor of every version of that. We're just gonna get pissed drunk and see what happens.
the Four Loko one's like 14% alcohol. So that
Yeah, I
should
know. My dick is waiting for it.
That's
man.
probably going to be the last one, and that will be the point of the show where we black out.
No, you start with that one.
Yeah,
Ian, who's
sure.
your favorite college team?
Oh man, this will be out of left wing, but Vanderbilt. Commodores.
There we go. Vandy.
Yeah.
So here's what I always say about Vandy on this show. They're a tough out, man. It's a gritty fucking football team. They're in the same situation as Notre Dame, where they actually care about grades and shit to get in there, and it's a really fucking hard school to get in.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think that kind of hinders their football team a lot, just based on like the past 5-10 years. I mean, they've always had really solid, solid offense and defense a little bit. Mainly, it's their time in the classroom that kind of takes away from them being able to actually perform and play the team well enough to actually do really well. So.
Well, it is a school, and they also have to play Georgia, LSU, and Florida every single goddamn
I
year.
know, yeah, and they're playing Georgia in like 11 days, the 21st. So that's going to be an instant loss, for sure. And they're playing that here, which is going to be great, but it'll be a shit show.
Yeah, man. What do you think the record's going to be this year at Vandy?
Like optimistically, I'm looking at like 5-7, but like conservatively, I'm thinking more like 3-9. I mean,
that bad, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking like Kentucky and Purdue are going to be like the wild cards where we just probably don't have our shit together, and we're going to just get fucked.
I mean, they only won 6 games last year, 6-6.
Yeah.
Year. 6-7 if you count the bowl game.
But again, their schedule is brutal. It is every year. You guys usually end up playing Notre Dame too every year.
Yeah, not this year. We're playing. I'm looking at now. We're playing Georgia first. We play Northern Illinois, so that's going to be a.
You play at
show.
Purdue too. Like you play Georgia and then at Purdue and then LSU. That's 3 tough games right there.
Man.
Even though Purdue sucks, but they at home.
Purdue's always at home. It's tough, man.
Yeah,
they beat the shit out of us
them.
last year.
Yeah, for sure. And then we play Ole Miss on the October 5th, and that's going to be another blowout, like at Ole Miss. So crazy. And then I think we have like a week break, and then we play Mizzou, which again we have Mizzou and then South Carolina, and that's going to be a shitty 2 weeks. Just
Yeah. I think look. I don't know how great South Carolina is this year, but
I don't know either. I keep hearing good things though, that they're supposed to be a huge powerhouse again. But
Mizzou's got Bryant at quarterback. The Clemson transfer, so we'll see. It could be tough, but Vandy, man, that's right in Nashville. It's a fucking blast. And it's actually a great school. It is the Ivy League school of the South, the only Ivy League school of the South. I feel like.
Yeah, it's kind of like our Harvard or Yale.
It is
with a little more partying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, hey man, we love you. We appreciate you listening, and dude, thanks for the Zima.
Fuck yeah, man.
Appreciate it, brother. We'll chat with you soon.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thanks,
bye, buddy.
man.
Let's try Marcus.
Festus Ezeli went to Vanderbilt.
Did he really?
Remember that guy?
No.
You don't remember him for real? He was forward for the Warriors for a couple of years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Couldn't stay healthy though. Marcus Benoff.
At least he's got that degree though. I'm sure he's doing something sweet.
Well, before he was living in like the Congo or some shit, so I'm sure he's fine now.
Maybe he's back in the Congo.
I doubt it. I don't think anybody gets rich and then goes back there.
Do you think people of the Congo listen to Gloria Stefan? Come on, baby. Why don't you do that, Congo?
I don't think so. I doubt they listen to Drinkin' Bros either. But that would be funny as shit. Like if we just checked our statistics. Like for some reason, there are a bunch of people in the Congo
listening to us, man. It's weird. I can't put my finger on it.
Well, this guy's an Oregon fan, so he's got something to answer for.
That's cool. Hey, I think Oregon is going to do some big things this year.
Yeah, like lose you another bet, so you end up with fucked up hair all summer.
Jesse told me yesterday. She was like, "Dude, you're not betting any more hair bets. We're all done with that. You're all fucking done with that."
Because you keep losing is the real reason.
It's only hair bets. It's the only thing I lose.
Yeah.
3 of them.
She's tired of you tarnishing the family name with your losses.
She's tired of me tarnishing the family functions out in public.
Hello.
Marcus.
Anthony and Ross. What's up?
What's up, dude? It says here you're an Oregon fan. I'm expecting big things out of Oregon this year.
Yeah. The University of Oregon.
Yeah, no one calls them that.
No one.
Not one single person calls them that.
That's right. I got confused.
Yeah, you should. You should. What do you got Oregon this year? Herbert's back. Is it? Do you pronounce it Herbert like I do?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
good.
from the South, and you say Bear, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going Cajun on it.
Okay, well, you never know. You're from Georgia, so.
Exactly.
So, I'm expecting some pretty good big things out of them. I think what's going to really set the tone for the season is that first Auburn game.
Yep.
And I feel like if they can pull that one off, I feel like it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. And for some reason, there's always one game we always kind of fuck up that.
Yeah,
we end up losing to something.
I mean, this is a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Read off Oregon's schedule.
Yeah,
here.
you got Auburn week 1. That's a tough game. But if they should win that, and if they do, I think that sets a tone. Then they play Nevada and Montana. Those are fucking bullshit games. Stanford at Stanford is a tough out.
Yeah.
They play Cal and Colorado at home. Then they go to Washington at Washington. Then they play Washington State at home. Then they go to USC. Those are all tough games.
Yeah, they are.
And they close out with Arizona State, and Oregon State, which, again, Oregon State is always a tough out for them.
Yeah, it's a rivalry game, but they're terrible. I think Oregon wins the Pac-12 this year, and they go to a big bowl game. I don't think they end up in the Final Four, though. Do you?
Again, I think a lot of it depends on that first Auburn game. I feel like if they beat Auburn, that's going to be a big confidence booster. And as long as Herbert stays healthy and they, stay consistent, I feel like they have a pretty good chance to win it out. The Stanford and Washington, USC, those will be tough games, but I feel like we have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, Washington's they've got to rebuild, so I think you're going to get them this year. Washington State is such a wild card just because of the way they play. That who knows with that team? Like that's always going to be tricky. But you're right, man. I could see Oregon sneaking in there. The problem is, man, you guys always have a couple bad games like last year. Like I had look.
Yeah, it's like I was saying. There's always one game that things are going good, and there's always one game that we're just like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, that Arizona game, they got fucking dismantled last year.
I mean, the good news is you're bringing back your quarterback and your running back. Everything from there you can kind of piece together. They're not really hurting for receivers there either. I mean, they've done a pretty good job.
It'll be interesting to see. As long as Herbert stays healthy, I feel like we'll have a pretty good season.
Yeah, I do too. And look, yes, you're right. If you beat Auburn, I think the Pac-12 is weak this year. You have a decent you have a decent shot of running the table, man. I believed in him last year, and I was wrong. But maybe I was a year too early.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be back to like the prominent team that like we're used to. Like a few years ago when we were consistently, top 5, top 6. But we'll be better than we have the last 2-3 years. I feel like.
I agree. I agree for sure. Well, hey man, thanks for listening, and good luck to the Ducks this year.
Thanks, man.
All right.
I say good luck to Ohio State, but.
I know. We've beaten you guys so many times in bowl games that you're probably just like, fuck these guys, dude. Fuck them.
I can't even hate on them because of it. So.
I appreciate some of the nicest fans, at least. Yeah.
Very, very polite.
Very polite fans. Take care, buddy.
See you, man.
Cool, guys. Thanks. Take
right.
it easy.
Should we close out with a Michigan fan?
Where do you see a Michigan
Bruce
fan?
Clements.
Oh, I see. All right, yeah, let's close out with him.
We didn't know we were going this long today.
No.
And Jared's flight just got delayed. We got informed. So, fuck it, man. Let's. Where are we at, Jamie? How many?
2 hours 41 minutes.
I feel great though. I feel like I could keep going another 5-6 hours.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
No, we're not.
Never.
Dan has to eat every hour on the hour, or
I'm already
shit goes
about to rage
sideways.
Right now. I do want to take the time to make fun of this Michigan guy though first, so let's do that. That actually gives me life. Just because.
We'll see if he
Harbaugh's
answers.
been so. No, he's probably crying.
Hello.
Oh, there we go, Bruce.
Yes, it is.
So you're a Michigan fan, huh? We decided we would close out the show with you today. We're getting close to a 3-hour show here. We're gonna close out with you because you're a Michigan fan.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this, Bruce. If you guys lose to Ohio State again, are you going to change your name to Caitlin then? Bruce.
If we lose to Ohio State this year, I will change my profile picture to a Buckeye for a year. That's the best I can do.
Oh man, are you sure about that? Because you're definitely gonna lose.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Give me something. You gotta give me something.
Well, he's already got a bet with Notre Dame.
Well,
so.
I do have a bet with Notre Dame about hanging their flag in front of my house for an entire year. But God, there was a guy.
What the hell? We lost him.
We lost him. We'll call him right back. So this will give me time to tell this story. There was a guy named fucking Steve. Man, I forget his last name. Either way, I always bet with him every year, and last year he refused to pay up. It was a signed Haskins helmet.
That's right.
And Steven something. And he was so pissed off. All he does is talk shit all year. He actually got thrown off of Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook.
That's right. I remember that guy.
Yeah. Because he was just constantly posting Michigan.
You have reached the voicemail.
All right.
Classic Michigan fan.
Yeah, he got murdered or something. I don't know what happened.
Nah, look. Here's the deal with
probably
Michigan
drank the
fans.
water in Flint, and now he's...
No, he's probably using a flip phone. It's a Michigan fan. You know? He's not... His technology's not up to this speed.
Oh, man. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Well...
sorry, Bruce. But again, Bruce is going to turn into a Caitlin if they fucking lose this year.
No, before we go, though, you got to offer... He's going to still listen to the show.
He is,
So
yes.
you've got to make him... What's your thing? I say you wear a Desmond Howard jersey to... a fucking Ohio State game next season.
Well, here's the problem with that. And typically I would bet, because I bet everybody every year on Ohio State, always across the board. And I always bet something. The problem is when we did our college prediction show, I actually think that, look, we can't win every fucking game. We've only lost twice this century. I think if you're going to do it, it's going to be this year. So my problem with that is I actually think Michigan has a decent shot. Therefore, I can't bet on this one this year because we have a new coach and a new quarterback. And if Michigan is going to do it, and the game is at Michigan this year. If we're going to do it, it's going to be this year. So I have a hard time with it because I actually, again, anybody who listens to the college prediction show, I put them in the playoffs. I have them as the 4th seed. So we'll see. Now, I think they get fucking housed by Clemson at an embarrassing level that they can never ever recover from in the first college football playoff game. But if they do, they do. I can't change anything because I think there's a decent shot at that.
I guess we'll see.
We will. But I like doing these call-in shows.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'd say we'll do another one again.
Let's do one tomorrow while Jared's here.
Or midway through the year. We'll do one midway through the year.
Not for sports. I mean for just the regular show.
Drinkin' Bros, yeah. But we'll also do a one midway through the year when a lot of these predictions start to shake out.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is when most of these will start to take hold
Week
of
4
who's
or 5,
great. And
when that first or second big game comes up.
Yeah. Because you'll know what happened to LSU, Texas.
Yeah.
You'll know what happened to Ohio State, Nebraska. You're going to know a lot about some of these teams. I think Clemson, Texas A&M will have played. And we'll close it with this. This is a really fun fact. Did you know that Texas A&M plays all top 3 ranked teams in this preseason?
God damn, dude.
Is that crazy or
That's
what?
not good for them.
No.
Because they are not a top 3 team.
And LSU is ranked, I think, 7.
6 or 7,
6 or 7. They play them too?
Yep.
Fucking
They
A.
play Clemson, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, and LSU.
God damn it, man.
So
that's the most brutal schedule you can possibly have. Jimbo Fisher is in for it this year.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, good luck for it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who let us call them.
Yeah, man.
And again, sign up on Drinkin' Bros Sports because we do shit like this all the time. And the first spreads are down. Are you popping off money on that Florida game, or was that half point too much for you?
No, it's too much. I'm not somebody who chases it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And if it's not there, it's not there. I'm like Matt Damon and Rounders.
Yeah, you're too comfortable in your own mind.
Just fold.
Nyet. All I keep thinking of is John Malkovich.
Eating fucking Oreos.
Yep. in that shitty accent. I love Rounders.
Oh, it's a great movie, but he is the worst in that movie.
And John Malkovich is usually great.
You know who's really good is John Turturro, but he's great in everything he does.
He's always great.
The best, man.
Consistently great. I did not like that HBO show where they showed his feet over and over and over again.
I didn't see that, but I have never seen his feet. Maybe I did in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, but I feel like I don't want to see his feet.
You do not. And there is 90 million cutaways to him. It's called like Into the Night or something like that. And it's an HBO series. It lasted one season.
I'm going to skip it.
Yeah. Just Turturro's
Spend
feet.
that time pounding off or something. I don't know.
Yeah. For D'Anthony Holloway, I am Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin' Bros Sports. Good night, everyone.